Yeah, I'm late. What was I doing? Making a little cup of tea. Okay, it's my thing now. I need my mid-evening tea. So late? Dude, I was dead-ass a minute late. Teachers have walked in 10 minutes late before. I'm rarely late to work, boss. You're giving me a fucking hard time for nothing. I'll walk. I'll walk, damn it. Try me. Brighten up your day. How's it going, boys? Welcome back to the stream. Hope everybody had a good day today. I fucked up my sleep schedule going to London and back. You made me alt-tab out of my Val game. What the fuck? You're bronze. You're not leaving. Don't blame the alt-tab. Blame your game accuracy. Blame your game sense, bro. What the heck? It makes me feel brand new. I was platty at one point. The moment you start talking about 1 point, you're too far gone. GG. How was the soup last night? Dude, I was recording a super auto VODs experience, and I stopped it because I was smacking the soup. It was so good. Did I rock climb today? No, for the first time. Fellas, you ever do this? I'm in the car going to the rock climbing gym, and I looked at my phone. I looked how far it was. There was a bit of traffic. It was like 4 p.m., and I was like, I don't want to go. And I turned around. I used to do this a decent amount of time with a gym. I've never done it with a rock climbing gym before. But I just turned around. I was like, no. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I did go home and work out at my home gym, though. I just benched, which I felt fine about. I did a little benching. I squatted. I worked out the tries. That's fine. You know, I haven't benched in a while. I put up 185, did my few reps. I'll climb tomorrow. Here's the thing. Chat, tomorrow's I don't even know what we're doing today, honestly. This is more like preparation for war. Like, consider this. Let me throw on Halo theme, because that's what we're doing in this bitch. What, you're retiring? No, this is the last stream before war. The title is not meant to be my last stream ever. It's my last stream before we have to enter a battle. Because tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific time, we are going to go live. IRL stream in Kiev. It's me. It's Putin. It's celebrity boxing. What happened to my eye? What the fuck did happen to my eye? Nothing, right? Nothing. It's just an eye. I think. Now you got me fucked up. Why you got me fucked up like that? No, I'm kidding. I would beat his ass, though. I'm just saying. My heart rate's so low. My low heart rate would just give me an advantage in the battle. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Pacific, Elden Ring comes out. Probably the most hyped game since Breath of the Wild. Maybe Cyberpunk, to be honest. But with the expectation that it'll be actually good. And we are going to go live to play the game at 2 p.m. We'll be live for an hour before. And I will not end the stream until I beat the game. That's the plan. So we're going to have to sleep on stream once, maybe twice. We're going to have to grind on stream, eat on stream, probably do some home workouts, shower. It's going to be hell. But that's the plan tomorrow. Don't call it Subathon 2. But yeah, it's fucking Subathon 2, baby. Let's fucking go! We're going to go absolutely wild in this bitch. We are going to grind the game. The expectation from sources I've heard is about a 30-hour playthrough. That's my understanding, is a 30-hour playthrough of the game. LOL, you're so wrong. 90? No. Cap. It's 30 if you're actually good. I'm actually good. I'm actually a gamer. What do you want from me? What are you talking that good shit? It's not 80 hours. Mod says 90 hours? No. Dude, okay. First of all, I know the source you're talking about, and it was a game journalist, which isn't even a gamer. It's a journalist with the addendum that they game occasionally. So if it takes a game journalist 90 hours, it takes the average person half that time, a pro gamer 1/3. You're a journalist? I'm a retired journalist. I'm a journalistic gamer. They're a game journalist. Think about it. You got a degree. I also got a world fucking record. Okay? You like to bring up the things you like to bring up. I bring up the things that are applicable. So that's the plan. We're going live 3 p.m. tomorrow. I will stay live until I beat the game, however long that is. The dream? I beat it by Friday evening. God bless. I pray. It's maybe it's possible. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. Now, what I've heard is the game has so much goddamn story to go through that you could take 100 hours without beating the game. My game plan is main story until my fingers fall off. It's harder than Dark Souls 3. I've beaten Dark Souls. Getting over it. Pogo stuck. Every single Jump King and the hardest DLC Jump King and them in under an hour. I'm not worried about some rinky-dink game made by some dude named Miyazaki. I'm not worried about it. Clip it and ship it. This game, guaranteed, will be beaten by the end of the weekend. Guaranteed. You're talking 100+ hours of live time, which is at least 60 hours of game time. I mean, forget about it. Forget about it. I crushed that. Out of the park. Don't believe me? Let's put some stakes on it. Huh? You want to get involved, fellas? What you want to put up? Don't be shy. What do you think? What do you want to put up? Okay. All right, bet. If I do not beat Elden Ring by the end of the weekend, Monday, I will IRL stream buying a cat. Say less. I'll do it. I will go. I should not have said that. I should not have. But I'm a fucking gamer, so it's not going to happen. No takebacks, pinky promise. Cross my heart, hope to fly, stick a needle in my thigh. Why the hell don't you focus anymore? Thank you. A real cat. Yeah, a real cat with a heart that beats, etc. I have until Sunday night, Hawaii time. Everybody knows we go by Hawaiian time. I don't want that to be fucked up. We obviously are going Hawaii time. Right? Everybody knew that. Nobody's confused about that. Everybody knew we were going Hawaii time. Oh, we're going to really pick the toes at a couple extra hours? Chill. Chill with that shade. What am I going to name it? I'll name it fucking Elden Ring. Or like the thing where you use a word with the letters, but it's not the word. I forget what you call those. Rule 34s, whatever it is. Anagram, that's the one. English major? Okay, weird fucking irrelevant words for weird isms is not an English major thing. It's a German language thing that occasionally English speakers partake in. All right, I don't want no hootin' and hollerin' about not knowing the word anagram. You probably don't know the word fort width. Okay? No, I'm not flaming you. I'm not calling you an idiot. I don't go to your house. I do. I made it up, Belinda. I fucking made it up. I knew it, Belinda. I knew you'd cap. It's not a real fucking word, Belinda. Rolled and smoked. I submitted a clip yesterday, but it was never played. Maybe because it was funny rather than scary. Is there any way to watch it today? There's no way for me to specifically find the clip that you sent exactly, Autodidact, unless I see you in chat and maybe you tell me what it is. Will you also do invasions for funsies? What are invasions? What are I need to know what that is to do it. YouTube Frogs Unite. First time watching a stream, LOL. Thank you, Bacon, for the $20. It's a lot for the first time. Maybe next time stick to like a dollar. Put your toe in the water before diving in. William McBride, this is my first stream. I'm here for a good time. Oh, no war? That's right, William. We're going to fucking war. My name is a palindrome. And the name is Reller. An apt observation. You got it. That's like a thing you must say at parties. A slight lull in the conversation. So, you heard of palindromes? Anyway, how's it going today, boys? How's it going? Hello, hello, hello. It is the day before war, which means I have no fucking clue what we're doing today. Thank you, Gritzel, for the membership. I don't want to play. Maybe we'll do a Reddit Re. I don't want to play Super Auto Pets. You guys want to see something funny? I played Super Auto Pets yesterday, right after stream ended. I actually had an amazing day on the Auto Pets, with 3 really spectacular wins. Now I won't bore you with the details of those wins, but I did do it with the heart rate monitor on. I kept the heart rate monitor on because I thought it'd be funny. And here I am. It's perfect enough. This is my final round on this fun build I did with double hedgehog and puffer camel. Ooh, a little bit scary though. Oh, you know what? That was just perfect enough that we can use this to hit the badger. That was super OP. Beaver. Oh, we could win this. It's by no means free. You got to snipe the badger. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at my heart rate. Oh, that's a sick team. Disgusting. You know what? That's an Instagram story team if I've ever seen one. My heart rate went higher playing Super Auto Pets than any video we watched yesterday, with the exception of the final one. Every single video brought me up to maybe 65, 70. I boomed up to damn near 90
We got the badge
with
going
Super
on.
Auto Pets.
All right.
Just sympathetic. That's nuts. $100 from Quazd, which I said wrong. Said subathon 2 time. Dude, it's not a subathon. All right? It's merely a marathon stream. Invading people's worlds is PvP. Understood. Excited to watch the Elden Ring stream. Appreciate the content, bro. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Twinning Teddy Fresh. I missed how you're getting Cutie a Cat. Explain. If I don't beat the game of Elden Ring by fucking Sunday night, Hawaiian time, then I buy Cutie a Cat on Monday. Also, thank you for the $100. Dip your toes wherever you want to. Fair enough. Go off, King. Maya's chat was way better. I think so. But I also think I had to wait. Maya's resting heart rate is concerning to me. If you guys think I have Tom Brady syndrome where I'm the just GOAT at everything I do, this is Maya's resting. Look at this. Oh, nice spinny ball.
All right, are we ready? Shall we?
That's her resting. Bro, it's 98.
How much you want to bet the first one is the Us clip? There's this clip in the movie Us that I physically cannot watch. I watched the movie with my team a couple weeks ago, and I cried.
We are like polar opposites. Her top end heart rate, she's like top end of what's normal. They say 60 to 100 is normal. Bro, she's 101 right now.
I'm literally like stressing out about it right now.
She's like she's like a bird. She straight up just is bird.
Look at that. God. I hate this clip too. I hate. Oh.
Classic. I donated a video, but I think it was rejected. It might have been Mizu. Lud, watch Letter Kenny opening scene. What the hell is Letter Kenny? Can you do Jackbox with OTK right now? I don't think I am OTK. I think it's an OTK thing for OTK people. Me, I'm not that. Anyway, update on my life today. Cutie got me a Vespa for Christmas, but it arrived in January. I set it up today, and I can't open the oil canister with the tools I have, so I wrote it to like an auto repair store. They know megaloled me, so I wrote it back. But boy, do I look like a fucking weirdo. I was riding around in a Vespa with a Naruto sweatshirt that I got from Team Liquid and these Naruto pants that I got from Team Liquid in red Crocs. Nobody else is riding around in Vespas, I noticed. I thought it was a vibe. How do you not know Letter Kenny? Best of Letter Kenny. What the hell is Letter Kenny? Letter Kenny. What am I supposed to be looking at here? For copyright claims. You guys want to make it a short stream?
Just put this TikTok.
I love TikTok. It's in Canada. Did this come before or after Trailer Park Boys? After? Way after? Makes sense. It feels like a less realistic Trailer Park Boys. Seemed funny, though. Seemed great. I'm a film graduate from Canada. Letterkenny is a Canadian-made comedy show. Wonderful. It's on a TV show from Sudbury, Ontario, Canada, where I'm from. Cool. Hi, Ludwig. First time actually talking in chat. You didn't even talk in chat. You just donated. Have you ever considered moving to Austin or any other place? Thank you, Quaz. You don't got to donate $100 every time. You can type in chat. I've never in my life considered moving to Austin. I mean, I've considered it. I've considered maybe having like a flat, you know, to hang out there because QD has a lot of friends there. But it seems so fucking boring. I don't leave my house a lot, admittedly. So what's the difference? Well, like all the streamers in Austin never hang out with each other. They never hang out. Soda Poppin', NMP, Milena, they stay in their own little corner. Mizkif will only hang out with people if it's on stream or at a party. Which I don't really fuck with either. I mean, I don't mind going on stream, but it's different. It's different. I like separating my personal hanging out with non-streamers. I feel like I'll get brain rot if all I do is hang out with streamers all day. You know what I mean? I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Even if they're smashers, better than streamers. Not that there's anything inherently wrong with streamers. They're always thinking about streams. What are we doing today? No fucking clue, to be honest. Fellas. Kind of just vibing at the moment. What's the title mean? Oh, I guess I explained it early on and a few people trickled in. It's the last stream until tomorrow, which is a huge marathon stream that starts at 2 p.m. Pacific, where we're going to play Elden Ring until we beat the game. And the stream won't end until I beat it, which could be quite a while. We could just boot up a little bit of that good. And by good, I mean specifically summoning salt. I was maybe going to save it for Elden Ring because we're going to have to go to bed. And that seems like a nice bedtime show to watch. So I was thinking about saving it straight up. Check Bitcoin. I don't like looking at crypto now, dude. It just feels bad, man. Oh, it just dropped 5%.
Ballard?
That was loud. Squabble. Could bust down a little squabble. I don't want to just super auto pets it up. It's a little lazy, isn't it? I actually wouldn't mind GeoGuessr if we had someone to play with. But I don't know if I have someone to play with. I don't think I've gone live since I've moved to YouTube once without anything planned to do. And today I just did it. I just set the stream up to go live, and then it came, and I was like, I still got nothing, but fucking we'll figure it out, I suppose. Play with Toasts? What's Toast doing? Dude, I'm losing every single content creator to GTA RP.
Okay.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Switching over to 2 though. You have my car.
I'm losing them all.
Oh. My car, Gary.
Oh, right. It doesn't say 666. It says 666 on this.
Yep. I don't mind GTA RP. I actually think it's pretty good live content. It's just such shit YouTube content. And if you're not in it, you know what I mean? Then it's not fun to watch at all. Like, you got to be in it to understand like all the characters, all the lore, all that good shit. What's Charlie doing in his lead up? He's doing the same thing I am, just jerking it.
Unless they'd be like okay getting insulted, like a humiliation fetish or something, then I guess that's fine. But I do love the idea. I want to do more like community involved streams.
I feel like on average, if you click on a Charlie stream,
musicians that tune in.
There's like a 40% chance he's talking about something sexual.
Speedrunning tonight. Haven't decided yet.
He's doing exactly what I'm doing. He has no fucking clue what he's gonna do.
I hope everything's alright, Horizon. Wishing you the best. Thanks to the resub, Charles Schlong.
Okay, can you guys stop fucking outing me?
Do streaming games ever retract from the experience? A game like Elden Ring seems like a type of game I want to experience without an audience. No, it usually just makes it more fun for me. I just think it's genuinely more fun to do activities with other people.
Yo.
Thanks to the resub, Phantom Boy, and gift sub, Inbred Lobster.
God, I'm like you fucking plebs. No goddamn check mark. My chat message just rolls through like
Is Lud
tumbleweed
here?
in the
Hey,
night.
Lud.
Hey,
How
Charlie.
the fuck do people know that? I don't think he said a single thing in chat. Do people just like look at the users in chat thing?
Well, I'm live.
Like, literally just target it? He's a tier 1 crux. Oh, he said hi? Did he? Oh.
I said hi, and
didn't
I'm
see him.
live. There's a lot of good reasons that people would know I'm here.
Hope you're having a good stream, Lud.
It's all right. I did also sub earlier, and he missed it. That's all right, though. It's all right. No worries. I don't even care.
Dapper noodle.
You know what? Someone actually built this thing that seems cool that I don't think I'll do today because I have to set it up and talk to the guy more. But it was getting over it that you control with your arm. And this controls like the... I shouldn't make that motion. It controls the axe. Which seemed hype. I was kind of into it. Check Twitter. What's there to see on Twitter, bro? First thing I see. I made this, now I can't unsee it. And it's the cool guy from Fairly Odd Parents. And you just think I'm that guy, which I'm honestly down to be. Honestly, kind of a cool guy. Check the indirects. Dude, people hate when I check the indirects. The indirects. Wait, why is World War III trending? Did something happen? There are big booms heard in Kiev. Probably just fireworks. Probably just a celebration. Me and Aiden bet, I think it was either $50 or $100. He said there's no way that Russia invades Ukraine in the next 3 months. And I was like, because we have to have a timeline. And I was like, dude, it's happening within a month, straight up. Anyone else had a thought over the past week, like, I should find a bunker? I live in LA. I feel like, I guess I'm not a great target for Russia because I'm West Coast. Or maybe West Coast is better. Why would you bet on that? If we're going to go to World War III, I'd rather go in with $50 more. Especially if the dollar is going to inflate. You got to think about these things. West Coast is closer? I'm going to Austin. I'm going to Austin, Texas. I'm not fucking with this. No way. Where do you think the safest place in America is? Probably Nebraska. Iowa, yeah. Where do we keep our nukes, though? Don't we keep our nukes in Iowa, or is that Idaho? Because that's probably not safe. Wait, did Russia just invade in the past 10 minutes? Hold up. Breaking news alert. Statement by President Biden on Russia's unprovoked and unjustified attack on Ukraine. The prayers of the entire world are with the people of Ukraine tonight as they suffer an unprovoked and unjustified attack by Russian military forces. President Putin has chosen a premeditated war that will bring a catastrophic loss of life and human suffering. Okay, yada, yada, yada. Okay, this doesn't really tell me what happened, though. Maybe it's not an invasion. Maybe it's more like they're trying to, like they just came over. Oh, no. Even fucking Prezzo's tweeting about it. Damn, imagine this is how you found out. Putin showing up in Canada and not realizing we eat him all the time. And that's how you find out. Russian invasion of Ukraine has begun. Dude. That doesn't sound good. But Elden Ring, Pog! Is Hassan live? Surely he's live covering this, right? Oh, he is. Oh, yeah. Oh, you know they've invaded because... Dude, Hassan's channel is so weird because the moment something terrible and catastrophic happens, he gains viewership. He's literally, I guess, just like the news for Zoomers. And some terrible shit goes down and everyone's like, what does Hassan think about this?
will respond in a united and decisive way. The world will hold Russia accountable. David, he will be meeting with G7 allies in the morning. He says that he will be speaking to the American people to announce further consequences.
Is this going to delay the
of course,
release of
those
Elden Ring?
sanctions,
We have to
what the
consider
White House
the
has been
ramifications.
describing some of the most severe sanctions ever levied. We expect to hear from the White House tomorrow. David.
Cecilia, thank you. Again, you're watching ABC News live coverage of what Russia is calling a special military operation. What U.S. authorities...
A war? Is Ukraine fighting back? Because everything I have heard up to this point is that Ukraine was like, there's no war. They're not going to invade us. Or is it more of a military occupation, which is still an invasion?
Our chief foreign correspondent there in Kyiv. And
I don't know what the fuck's going on in
words,
Kiev, if there's bombs blowing up in Kiev or not. Like, they fucking made it seem like the bombs are blowing up in Kiev, but now I don't know.
This will be a war of choice, and it won't be bloodless.
What is that fucking noise?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's
is it just like people driving really fast?
It's a dark day for Europe. We're potentially now looking at the first conflict between two sovereign nation armies in Europe since the end of the Second World War. I think Ukrainians will start to wake up. They'll be hearing the news. They'll be hearing the explosions. Since we've been on air, we've heard at least 3 more distinct large explosions.
Okay, the only Russian person I know is the professional CSGO player Simple. My city is shelled right fucking now. Okay, there's a war. Holy shit. Oh, he's Ukrainian? Excuse me. That's what I meant to say. That's crazy. Yeah, I meant Ukrainian. That's why I looked him up. It'd be crazy if he was Russian and his city was getting shelled. Damn.
Something major.
When I titled the stream Going to
Coverage
War
will
Today, I did not
continue
expect to
ABC
go to
News
war
Live,
today.
ABCnews.com. Again, Nightline later tonight, and Good Morning America first thing in the morning. I'm David Muir here in New York. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Wait, are they fucking done? What the fuck? That's crazy. You can't really be fucking ending the special report. What are you, wild? Are you wilding out, dude?
Got to go back to Hell's Kitchen, ABC?
Marco Rubio believes it's actually Spetsnaz, but how the fuck do we know? Russia is now working on establishing air superiority via targeted surgical strikes, a pincer movement to trap Ukrainian forces in the east and cut them off from Kiev. Finally attempted to decapitate Ukrainian government by targeting government buildings. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council is still going.
Secretary General's statements.
Thoughts on the Jason R. Valorant situation? It seems minor now that a war has broke out between Russia and Ukraine, all things considered.
There just this morning that we will not accept the invasion of one country by another, since it is against international law. We recall once again that Russia, a few days ago, in this very chamber, before the international community...
I'm on TikTok. I've talked about this, obviously, a lot. We've watched a lot of TikToks. Have you guys, any TikTok enjoyers, enthusiasts, seen the amount of like, Russian pro-Putin propaganda? It pops up on my For You page pretty consistently. And it'll just be like Putin, just doing Putin shit. It's not so blatant. I guess some are really blatant. But the ones that make it big are more like, just like Putin. And then the comments are like, God, you got to respect a leader that's from the KGB. And I'm like, you don't got to respect them.
Way.
Nice algorithm, bro.
Pictures of the
I'm just
fire
saying
in
I've
Kharkiv.
seen it.
Yeah, we saw this before.
Maybe it's because I watch more news-based TikToks. Never, ever wonder what that says about you. All right, fair enough. Good discussion.
Faster took the Taliban to retake Afghanistan.
They have like 800,000 followers, the page I saw. I thought it was weird.
This fast. Like, this is I know I made fun of like people talking about fucking Hearts of Iron shit, but like this is literally Blitzkrieg Hearts of Iron shit. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, I don't know. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if it's like full-blown this is a full-blown occupation of Ukraine. This is clearly not a fucking limited special operations exclusively with the goal of
wasn't worth the $50. I'll say it. If I could give back the $50 and the war would stop, I don't think it would have much of an effect, but...
Talking at the... Oh, let's hear what the fuck he has to say.
The Ukrainian fairy tales that those living in Donetsk are all but shelling themselves. It is no surprise that the increasing suffering of those living in the Donbass does not seem to affect our Western colleagues. Through the whole day of debate today at the General Assembly, you haven't been able to find one word of compassion or condolences. It is as if these 4 million people for you simply don't exist.
I mean, dude, come on, bro.
I'd like to recall that
watching Twitch instead of YouTube because Twitch is better. Yeah, let me see what the YouTube streamers have to say about this. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Pretty much nothing.
Defending Donbass.
This should be fully complied with as regards states who, and I quote, conduct themselves in compliance with the
absolute fucking insanity,
of equal
dude.
rights and self-determination of peoples.
You know the weirdest thing is that Russian put a lot of troops in Ukraine and on the border of Ukraine, and they called them peacekeepers, which is like what villains call themselves in like TV shows. That like when there's war, like peacekeepers is exactly like the term that like the evil organization would use. They're just peacekeepers. The enforcers of peace. I feel like no real peacekeepers call themselves peacekeepers. Hunger Games. It's Hunger Games, right? I saw that and I was like, where is that from? Do the Jedi call themselves that? And they were corrupt.
We tried yesterday and today, before yesterday, to explain to you the logic of the decision made by Russia to recognize the LPR and DPR. And we focused on the need to ensure peace and security.
I'll be back. I have to pee.
I love calling yourself like the peacekeepers or the pacifists, but you're rifled up.
Hear this and you don't want to hear it now. For you, those living in the Donbass are simply pawns in a...
This is, I feel like every time I click on Hassan's stream, he's doing this. He goes peace so damn often. He's too hydrated.
Children, the elderly, who for 8 years have been cowering from Ukraine's shelling and provocations. For us, these are Ukraine people.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mute.
And not the Maidan authorities. In this is the difference in our approaches. If you do not change the geopolitical lens, you will never understand us. Then, on those on whose behalf this decision I mentioned was made, who you've not even thought about for over these 8 years, simply calling them pro-Russian separatists and terrorists. Those people are the most important for
this woman
us.
is speaking
Like
English for the
again,
Russian that the Russian Federation
crisis
president
around
speaking.
Ukraine is the actions of Ukraine itself, who for many years was sabotaging its obligations under the Minsk package of measures.
They're just
Last
spitting.
week, even, there was a hope that Kiev would rethink and nevertheless implement what it signed up to do in 2015. For this, first and foremost, they needed direct dialogue with Donetsk and Lugansk. However, further confirmation that Ukraine is not ready for this type of dialogue and steps to grant Donbass special status as set forth in the Minsk agreements, while
Mods, we need people to
with the
spit.
support of this position
We didn't
from
show whose
Western
sides we're on here.
backers, finally convinced us that we simply cannot force those living in the Donbass to suffer more. Inasmuch as I already said, the Ukrainian provocation against those in Donbass not only has not stopped, but has intensified, the leaders of the LPR and the DPR turned to us with a request to provide military support in line with bilateral cooperation agreements as agreed at the same time as they were recognition. This is a logical step, which is a consequence of the actions of the Ukrainian regime. During this meeting, the president
It's the longest
Russia,
piss of all time.
Putin, spoke with and said that he made a decision for a special military operation in the Donbass. We don't know all the details today, but briefly I would like to inform you that from his statement, it says that the occupation of Ukraine is not
Juicers
in our plans.
drafted.
The aim of this special operation is to protect the people
Trump
who
is on
for over
Fox
8 years
News.
have been
We're so
suffering
separated from
genocide from the Kiev regime, and for this
Twitch culture is so separated from like
demilitarized and degenocide.
like how I
in
think of like
Ukraine,
old
and also
imperialistic America.
Degenocide.
and
Just a bunch of
hold
juicers
accountable
getting
those who
drafted.
carried
Genocide,
out
more
so
like
many
just
crimes against
regenocide.
civilians, including citizens of the Russian
Wish we
Federation.
could all
This
XQCL a little
decision
bit more.
was made in line with
No, she
Article
fucking she
51
just
of the UN
mistranslated. It's not a big deal.
Charter,
I mean,
and the sanction of the
he
Russian
just meant
Federation
denazify.
and fulfilling the agreement on and recognition of the LPR and DPR. We're receiving a lot of information, and we will analyze this, and we will keep you up to speed
More
with this.
map of
Now,
some of the
I
more
resume
Russian
my
attacks.
function as president of
Again,
the Council,
this is not
and I
entirely
give the
fucking
floor to the representative
you know.
of Ukraine.
That's a lot of stars.
What did he mic drop? What the fuck's going on, dude?
Pretty
Oh
stretched
shit!
there.
Ukraine is speaking now.
Oh,
This guy. I mean, dude.
Isn't that
The
awkward?
entire country is on fire.
Distinguished members of the Security Council,
I like how they gave this guy an
Secretary
accurate voice.
General, Undersecretary. Before I try to deliver parts of the statement that I came here with tonight, most of it is already useless since 10 p.m. New York time. I would like to cite.
Bro, the amount of people that are rushing to be like, your tweet did not fucking age well
Don't
when I
mute.
said this is the hill I will die on, even though I already have like fucking apologized and said I was wrong, is absolutely fucking insane and shows once again that 90% of the fucking internet exclusively cares
Bro,
about
there's
L's and
war.
W's
Who
on
cares
the
about
internet
Twitter?
and not
Obligations
anything about
contained
like the
in
fucking
the
safety
Charter.
and lives of Ukrainian
And
people.
in the
You said you
Charter,
die on the hill. Let's
the
listen to the
organizations
Ukrainian guy, please.
are able and willing to carry out these obligations. Russia is not able to carry out any of the obligations.
You're so arrogant on this, you deserve the backlash. Shut the fuck up,
ambassador of
bitch.
the Russian Federation
Again.
3 minutes ago.
Hassan, one more and I have to go to the
confirmed
original
that
source.
His president declared a war on my country. So before I read parts of the statement,
Fuck. Sorry.
I would
You're
like to
choking!
avail of the presence of the Secretary General and request the Secretary General to distribute among the members of the Security Council and the members of the General Assembly the legal memos by the Legal Council of the United Nations dated December 1991, and in particular the legal memo dated 19th of December 1991. The one that we've been trying to get out of the Secretariat for a very long time, and we were denied to get it. The Article 4, Paragraph 2 of the Charter reads, the admission of any such state to membership in the United Nations will be affected by a decision of the General Assembly upon the recommendation of the Security Council. Mr. Secretary General, please instruct the Secretariat to distribute among the members of the Security Council and the members of the General Assembly a decision by the Security Council dated December 1991 that recommends that the Russian Federation can be a member of this organization,
Fighting confirmed
as
by
well as a decision
Ukrainian officials
by
in
the General
Kiev,
Assembly
Kiev
dated
Airport.
December 1991,
Fighting confirmed by
where
Ukrainian
General
officials
Assembly
in Kiev
welcomes
Airport.
the Russian Federation
Here.
to this
Missile
organization.
strikes.
It would be a miracle if the Secretariat is able to produce.
What
such
is the
decisions.
difference, and this is a genuine question, between what is happening now and what happened in
There is
2014?
nothing in the Charter of the United Nations about continuity.
Is it the same thing? They're just going for
as
more?
a sneaky way to get into the organization. So when I was coming here an hour ago or so, I was intending to ask the Russian ambassador to confirm on the record
There was
Yes,
no
Russia
COVID.
officially declared
that
war
the Russian
earlier today.
troops will not start firing at Ukrainians today and go ahead with the offensive. It became useless 48 minutes ago.
I'll love a
Because
time
about
check.
48 minutes ago, your president declared the war on Ukraine.
Yeah.
So now I would like to ask the ambassador of the Russian Federation to say on the record that at this very moment, your troops do not shell and bomb Ukrainian cities. That your troops do not move in the territory of Ukraine. You have a smartphone, you can call Lavrov right now. We can make a pause.
I like that.
Go out and call him.
I like that. Bro, you got a smartphone? Call him up. Call your boy. See what's fucking good with him.
If you are not in a position to give an affirmative answer,
No shot he is.
the Russian Federation ought to relinquish responsibilities of the President of the Security Council, pass these responsibilities on to a legitimate member of
What
the
is this
Security
meeting?
Council, a member that is respectful of the Charter.
A Security Council for who?
And I ask the members of Security Council to convene an
Just
emergency
UN?
meeting immediately and consider all necessary draft decisions to stop the war. Because it's too late, my dear colleagues, to speak about de-escalation. Too late.
Yeah, if they
The
bombed, it's
Russian
too late.
president declared the war on the record. Should I play the video of your president?
Smartphones make this shit so much more
Ambassador,
badass.
should I do that right now? Or you can confirm it?
This is 50 years ago, then you can't whip out the smartphone. You just
Do
have
not
to be like,
interrupt me,
oh,
please.
okay.
Thank you.
He said, she said.
Then don't ask me questions when you are speaking. Proceed with your statement.
Anyway, you declared the war. It is the responsibility of this body to stop the war. So I call on every one of you to do everything possible to stop the war. Or should I play the video with your president declaring the war? Thank you very much.
Double down. Russian guy steps up.
Опять я вынужден сказать.
Against, I must say that I thank the representative of Ukraine for his statement and questions.
Oh, you thank him?
I wasn't planning to answer them because I've already said all I know at this point. Waking up.
What the fuck's going on?
Minister Lavrov at this time is not something I plan to do. You said the
The
information.
first thing
that
Hassan
we
said in like 3
have
hours.
will be something we provide. And this isn't called
That's
a
that-
war.
hey,
This is called a
that's the
special
political
military
discourse that you
operation
can
in the
get from Hassan
Donbass.
Abi.
I now give the floor to the representative of Germany.
The fuck
You think if
Germany
the
gonna say?
Ukrainian guy fights the Russian guy, that means they have to let go? They have to, it's like trial by combat?
I thought about that joke too, but I passed on
The
it.
President of the Russian Federation announced a military operation on Ukrainian territory. We condemn this in the strongest possible terms. And we call upon all members
Imagine
of the
being
Security
like,
Council
hey,
and the
I know we're
United
bombing your
Nations to
fucking
now stand
capital
up for
and like all of
Ukraine
your big cities, but
and
it's not a war.
against a shameless breach of international law. 2 days ago, Russia's decision to recognize the self-proclaimed so-called People's Republics of Donetsk and Luhansk was harshly rejected in this council.
She's so German.
It had already dealt a devastating blow to the principles and the international
Germany's a
order
neutral
that
party?
the United
Are they, though?
Nations stand for. Russia has not listened.
Don't they literally have a
and
huge pipeline deal
it
with
turns
Russia?
out it was not prepared to listen. It has continued its massive military buildup.
I guess they're
and we
admonishing
observed
Russia right
and
now, though.
Observe cyber attacks directed against Ukraine, and now Russian military is
Oh, they
moving
canceled it.
into Ukrainian
Oh, go
territory.
off, Germany.
By the actions and this unprovoked
Was it
military
canceled or postponed,
operation,
though? You know what I
Russia
mean?
is violating the core principles of the UN Charter. We condemn the use of force against innocent people and the violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of
Fucking
Ukraine
idiots,
in the
dude.
strongest possible terms. We urge Russia to terminate its military action against Ukraine immediately and withdraw its troops. Mr.
They talk so
President,
mild-mannered
our thoughts are
about
with
war.
the Ukrainian people. We will be steadfast in our support for Ukraine.
We
and our
urge you.
support for the UN Charter. The Russian aggression will come at an unprecedented price, politically, economically, and morally.
It's just this.
Mr. President,
Like if two
France,
people are
Ukraine,
fist
and
fighting,
my
you have
country stood ready
more
for
escalated
diplomacy,
words.
For another meeting in the Normandy format, or for the summit.
I feel like the
that
sheen
Ukraine
of
had
diplomacy
proposed.
makes these
With
conversations
our
so
allies and
dull
partners,
and
we
fake.
called on Russia to seek a diplomatic way forward in vain. Now is the moment to speak up and defend the international order of the UN Charter against unilateral aggression, jointly and decisively.
Oh, thank you.
Tonight we stand with Ukraine,
War
and
starting.
we are doing so unwavering and determined. Thank
Ravioli.
you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of Germany for her statement. And now I give the floor to the United States, who wish to make a further statement.
USA!
you.
USA!
In my remarks tonight, I said that we predicted Russia's false flag
True.
attacks.
And everybody called us so fake
misinformation.
for that.
The
Bro,
theatrical...
America's literally like they're
called it.
doing a fucking W tour. They're like, yo, we're gonna
Yeah.
predict the misinformation of false flag. Dude, okay, solve it. Solve the problem.
I love America. Hey, let him get one. Told you so.
In the Security
What the fuck are
Council
they gonna
tonight.
do? Are they gonna go in? Are they gonna fucking fight
Hassan,
back?
let us
Are they
get
gonna,
one
like,
told you so.
actually Fly,
that last-
a
We
planes into
deserve
Ukraine?
one
Are they
told
gonna
you
send
so.
in the
Everybody was
6,000
talking that
troops to the
shit.
fucking border of
We
Ukraine?
deserve
Gathered
one.
in the council,
Then we can move on.
seeking peace. Putin delivered a message of war in total disdain for the responsibility of this.
Non-believers like you was on. It doesn't
council.
matter. It doesn't matter that they got this one
This is a-
fucking. They got this one.
council
Okay.
will need to act,
At this point,
and we
if
will
you
put a
are in a position of
resolution
fucking
on the
power,
table.
you had every opportunity to fucking exhaust this, exhaust diplomacy. Instead of fucking endlessly being like, this is a war that's gonna happen. This is a war that's gonna happen. Okay, then fucking try to solve it.
this attack will bring. And the United
Let her
States
speak her truth,
and our
King.
You're doing
allies
ego
and
shit,
partners
dude. It's like
will
you're not a
respond
fucking gray
in
name
a
on my Twitch
united
chat. You're not like a
and
fucking
decisive way.
weirdo anime avatar
world
on
will
Twitter
hold
being
Russia
like, dude, you were so wrong and I was so right. Who cares?
I thank the representative of the
You
United
drop
States.
one, I told you so. So then,
I'd now like to give
you're
the
a
floor
more
to the
reliable source of
representative the United
information
Kingdom, who
for the rest of the
asked to
war.
make a further statement.
Thank you. As we sat in
Oh yeah, mask off, baby.
this chamber, urging Russia
I went to
step
London.
back,
No one has masks on.
President Putin announced
LA, you
special
you still
military
rock that shit.
operations on Ukrainian territory. This is unprovoked and unjustified.
Completely.
This is a grave day for Ukraine and for the principles of the United Nations. We and our partners have been clear that there will be consequences for Russia's actions. We fully support the United States call for a UN Security Council resolution. This council must do all it can to stop the war.
I bet Boris
and
Johnson's
uphold the
creaming his
Charter.
pants right now.
Thank you.
Because this takes all the heat off
I thank the
him.
representative of the
It
United
makes him a
Kingdom,
wartime prime
and
minister.
Now I'll give the floor
I mean,
to
the conversations that they
representative
had
of
are
Albania, who
about
also wished
sanctions
to
was way more significant and way more impactful than this. But obviously, the sanctions were seen as a fucking provocation and another reason to fucking further escalate. And it's
Explosions are reported in Kiev and in several other cities.
I mean, like I said, it's
Ukraine.
just like fucking Georgia.
Mosques are finally down.
But this
and
time,
tanks are
not even
in.
like a fucking real threat, but one that
As we
they have
speak,
decided to
Russia is implementing its
drum up.
plan.
Like one that they've decided to drum up against fucking Russian people living in Donbass.
The land, dignity.
All right, everybody. Now introducing the weekend's take on the war between Russia and Ukraine. 22 minutes ago. Damn, bro. Timing. Gotta come correct, Mr. Weekend. That's crazy.
That the Russians will veto it.
Okay.
So that will then set the stage for another conversation in the General Assembly. In the General Assembly, which doesn't have the ability to actually do things, but it can say things. It will condemn. It will vote to condemn Russia, but it's not able.
Bro,
to...
they literally took the L on the sanctions. They were like, "Fuck it, YOLO, sanction me."
such an issue for Russian President Vladimir Putin.
Dude, condemning feels so useless. What the fuck is the point of that? Need a new Mogul Mail video to know what to think about this war situation. Fellas, bottom line, end of the day.
To stop something that's not
Long-range
going to happen
missiles?
anytime
What
soon.
the fuck?
This makes no sense. It makes no sense. It's totally unjustified. There is no answer to your question. It's a good question, and there's no answer.
It's true.
Realistically here, what's the worst case scenario?
We're in it.
Worst case scenario is a massive invasion by these 200,000 or more troops that the Russians have massed around Ukraine. It will be a terrible, bloody fight. Tens of thousands of Ukrainians will be killed, military and civilian. Thousands of Russians will be killed, military. They will go back. Your reporter in Moscow raised the right question. Do the Russian people really support this massive invasion?
They don't. They
I
don't.
doubt it. In particular,
They don't. There's literal polling data on it. They do not. This is incredibly fucking unpopular. Okay? They don't.
War is never that
They
popular,
straight up
right?
do not. So that, along with like 11 other fucking reasons as to why this was so hyper unlikely, and an ongoing like
War's only popular if you're literally just like, dude, they're Nazis, and then it's like, oh, okay, all right, bet.
warfare in their fucking doorstep. All of this made it so incredibly unlikely. It is a complete psychopathic fucking action that they did.
Of war? It is, Andrew. Now, what that war entails, that's the big question, and that's what we're having to piece together in these minutes as the opening salvos are fired. Just reading a report from our person on the ground in Moscow, something very interesting.
Complete
let's think about
insanity, dude.
what Mr. Putin might be doing. So if we look at the map here, we know that Ukrainian intelligence today talked about that the city of Kharkiv, the second largest city in Ukraine, about 1.4 million people, was one of Russia's targets. They also said this little town down here called Kherson is the other target. So he said, why would those be the two? This is the port city that empties on to the Black Sea, controls all of this key economic waterway.
People love
that
ports.
Putin, if he held this, would be able to squeeze Ukraine in a way that he could essentially economically strangle the country. So if they attack here and if they attack here, the other thing we just
It's
heard
crazy
was,
how
So they're
useful
gonna cut off
ports
the
still
country
are.
from up to this fucking Dnieper River.
Like, I always thought in my head when I was younger, I was like, oh, they got planes. Ports don't matter that much. But, like, almost all goods are still sent through ports because it's just so economically not viable to do it through the air. But when I was a kid, I was like, oh, they just ship everything in a plane. But it's so cheap to ship with ports.
exports that go down the river into the Black Sea. All of their domestic gas production is here, and this is one of the richest agricultural areas in the world. So if Putin's looking for a prize, Kharkiv,
Among Us,
Dnipro,
no, it's just for you.
all the
Putin
way
has
down
launched
to
a full-scale
Kherson as
invasion
the,
of Ukraine. Peaceful
forces
Ukrainian
come up
cities
from
are under
Odessa,
strikes. This is a war
and
of
he
aggression.
owns
Ukraine
this
will
part
defend
of it.
itself, and
Whether it
the
goes after
world
Kyiv itself,
can and must stop
we'll
Putin.
wait
The
and
time
see.
to act is
Only has
now.
about
I mean,
30,000
they're not
troops up
going
here
to.
the
What the
north.
fuck is the
I don't
world
think
going to
they
do?
will.
It's a
Be
nuclear
almost 4
power. It's
million
fucking
people
insane
if
that
you
they're
take in
doing
the
this.
suburbs.
I'm going to make the call. It's like, won't no country invade or do a counter war? All they'll do is arm the Ukrainian soldiers to do the war for them. Because if any time you have like an American soldier in Ukraine, it just causes World War III, which I doubt is worth.
A neighboring nation of Russia. This is fucking completely insane. Completely insane. Like, America rolls over developing nations on a daily basis and over fucking seas, and and it's disgusting, but there's a white supremacist attitude that a lot of people have towards that kind of conquest in the third world. This is like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's absolutely insane.
All those places where they had missiles that could take down your airplanes. Once the skies are clear, then they'll launch more surface-to-surface missiles that are very, very accurate, could go after critical infrastructure, power
Who's on
plants,
Russia's
things
side?
like that.
No one.
Areas, military
But they also have
control.
nukes, so I
Now
just
that
think
you
it's
have
not
the
worth
skies clear and you have initial,
entering a war.
Air defense taken out. Now you can bring in your bombers, you bring in your attack aircrafts, and you pound the Ukrainian army from the air.
Oh,
with
China.
No ability
Actually
to defend
true.
themselves.
True megalo,
At
China.
some point, given all the array of military ground
And probably North
forces
Korea,
we
if you
see
count 'em.
Here, Mr. Putin will come in
But
to
North Korea is
Ukraine
like-
in some way with some intent. Again, don't know if he
Not
wants
really
to go
much of a
after
player.
Kyiv and bring down the government here, or whether he wants to carve off this eastern.
It's like
part
having
of the
Ludwig on
country.
your side if the
Remember
war
that
is League
this
of Legends.
this is the rebel-held area of Donbass, but this is not the all of the Donbass. All of the Donbass goes way
Breaking
out
down
here.
the war, but as Valorant pros. So in this spot, Tens is kind of like the U.S.
and retake the Donbass. He's got some
What the
work to do in
fuck?
here. But again, a line from Kharkiv to Dnipro down to Kherson.
Where are you on that, bro?
give them
What
that
the
one-third
fuck?
of
Old
the
meme.
country,
Old meme.
and
Seen it.
Maybe that's enough.
And Russia
Bro,
seems to have struck
what is
first
he
here. So
doing?
how can Ukraine respond? Are they prepared militarily to respond to a Russian invasion?
They are much improved. The U.S. and NATO countries have been working with them to improve their military
All right.
since they were.
I'm sorry to do this,
in,
but I got to run a
2000.
fucking top of the hour ad break. I forgot to run it last hour.
And in the Donbass. So they've.
Our classic wartime ad break. Are you serious?
Terry has also gotten much better. Over
There's
the
war! Know what to
do if you want to
years or
avoid
so,
those
they've
ads.
Put a lot of money into
Here it
improving
is.
the Russian military in a way that makes them a very, very capable
Fucking
military.
Dick
once
Cheney
again,
found his way to Twitch, bro,
in
profiting
sort
off of
reflecting
war.
that
War
past glory of
profiteer in the
Cold War.
building.
That means that the Ukrainians, even though they sort of match up man for man on the ground, it still means that the technological advantages that the Russian army, Russian military, Russian Air Force has really is going to be no match. So
You know what's crazy? Putin had this pre-war speech, this fucking hour-long speech,
it may take weeks, it may
where he
take
talked
months,
about how,
but
like,
eventually he'll be able
he was
to
like,
do
well,
that.
technically, the history of Ukraine is actually just more Russia history. Like, we're technically the creator of Ukraine.
In terms of the number of troops.
And made some, like, ideological pre-Johns for why he'll start a war.
He's going to need double or triple that, and he can't afford that.
And then he started a war.
In 2 years from now, and can't have body bags coming home from some bloody occupation like he's.
It'd be like the UK being like, I mean, technically, the start of the USA was a British colony, so I feel like that should be us. And then starting a war in 2021.
What that lesson is yet to be seen.
For the Ukrainians' defense, how does the mobilization of reservists help?
Because really what they're going to have to do is fight sort of a militia, an insurgency. So remember we saw insurgencies in Iraq and Afghanistan that we had to fight. It's actually quite difficult because you have people who believe in the defense of their country, that they've been invaded by a country. They're very proud that the national spirit of Ukraine has grown since the independence in 1991 from Russia. So you have Russians invading and killing Ukrainians, and so what they're going to have to do after they eventually get overrun is to sort of go into the militias and fight a guerrilla war. And that ends up being very, very bloody, not only for the Ukrainians, but eventually for the Russians.
And Colonel, last question here. American troops are overseas right now. What kind of support could they provide Ukraine, and how will they engage?
Zero.
Yeah.
It'll be the President Biden has made it very clear that this is not our fight.
No shot.
Ukraine is not a member of NATO. It's never going to be a member of NATO. Someday maybe it'll be a member of the EU. But
I think what happens here is fucking Ukraine will have a bunch of people die. It'll be insanely depressing. And then they'll surrender. And Russia will have control of the ports and then major cities. And then it'll be a new way of life. And there will be sanctions on Russia for an extended period of time. But no nations will get involved. And that's probably just how it's going to go. Because, like, which is incredibly sad. But I can't imagine sending out troops to Ukraine would be popular. Because that would make everybody incredibly stressed and anxious in America. I personally would be stressed. I'd be scared. If they were like, American troops are now entering Ukraine to fight against the Russian soldiers. I'd be like, fuck, what? Because then I'd be like, is China getting involved? Are we nuking shit?
Fucking abso-fucking-lutely.
When does the draft age end?
Now they're like, oh yeah, NATO, I don't know about that. Ground troops are crossing the border? What do you mean? As opposed to what? Ukrainian officials are now saying that the Russian troops are crossing the border towards Kharkiv.
25? Oh. What the fuck?
That's where we're at now. Paratroopers are assaulting the Kiev airport. Holy fucking shit.
Okay, from my understanding,
troopers are assaulting Kiev airport.
Jesus. This entire war started because there was conversations of Ukraine possibly joining NATO, which was some organization created in the Cold War era to fight against, communism, and has existed since then. And the deal with NATO is they're non-aggressive, but if you attack any of us, we all attack you. We're bigger than the sum of our parts. So they're like, maybe we'll get NATO involved. It's a defense treaty, yeah. Or maybe we'll get Ukraine involved in NATO. And then Russia's like, okay, well, if you get a bunch of fucking Westerners in Ukraine in NATO, then that's basically war to us. And so they set up a bunch of troops, and then, obviously there's a war now. At any point, couldn't people have just gone, you know what? We're capping about Ukraine joining NATO. Called it a day. Or did they just think that Russia wouldn't have done war? Like, if U.S. had the intelligence that Russia was going to invade, couldn't they have just publicly said, you know what? We won't let them into NATO. Did that happen? Was that a thing that happened? Or was this like, that's not fair to Ukraine? Yeah, but if it stops war.
How are the rules-based international order folks thinking tonight, do you think?
I feel like using the lives of Ukrainian people for like this, like bargaining chip is kind of weird. But I guess I get it.
How insane.
It seems like a tough decision. I think being a president would be hard.
I'm not going on Fox News anytime soon regardless, and they're not exactly big fans of myself, but there's one person who's like definitely, if there's one person who was also wrong on how aggressive Russia was going to be and what the fuck they were going to do, it's Glenn Greenwald. Your regular reminder that U.S. isn't the only country with imperialist ambitions. Dude, you're talking to someone who already understands, recognizes, and has been talking about this for months. Your only comprehension of the situation at hand is from other fucking YouTubers who have like written essays or some shit, or your favorite person has told you that I was like wrong or whatever. If you ever watched any of my fucking videos or any of my streams, you would already know. Not only did I admit that I was wrong, but also routinely mentioned that it's still completely fucking unacceptable and completely unreasonable. It's reasonable for Ukrainians to be afraid of Russia, and it's completely unreasonable.
Why did Hassan take that comment
for
personally?
Russia to do anything.
He's like cutie, but it's a very human thing. I kind of have like robot brain, so I just read some dumb comments and I just kind of like lol, or maybe I think of a good way to roast them, but that's about it. But he's very human in that, like, single comments, even though he has 93,000 people watching him, probably 90,000 of which are just people who are wanting to get informed and trust this guy's opinion enough to learn about a war from him. One guy or like the couple hundred people in here who are like, oh, you were wrong, LOL, are like enough. And that's what he's pausing over. That's like the only thing he's like interested in.
Okay. Let's watch Donald Trump talk to Laura Ingraham now for a brief moment before we return to the coverage. All right? All right, wait, hold on. First blast heard in Ukraine.
Eastern third of the country cut it off from the capital to prevent Ukrainian troops from falling back to defend it.
Let's go back to how this all started. It was a slow build-up to a possible attack. Were the Ukrainian people prepared for this?
Well, they had not
guy's
necessarily been put on a war footing, but today a tone changed as President Zelensky
This guy straight up be like,
started
does it hurt the Ukrainian people that this war is happening?
the Ukrainian military. He also got on the phone
Great
with world
question
leaders.
there.
President Biden
I think
included
it does.
in recent days, appealing for financial support and other support for the Ukrainian military. And the country's
war
National
bad
Security
in this
Council
spot?
called for a state of emergency, and that's to allow authorities to impose curfews or limit transport, do other things to try and get ahead of any threats that may arise. And that was a real signal that they thought something was coming. And then the Ukrainian military began to brief members of
Yeah, I saw
parliament,
Simple's tweet. It
telling
seemed
them
fucked.
that an invasion was coming and coming soon. And
XQC's covering it.
Streamers won't go to TwitchCon. What do you think?
Well, why wouldn't I?
I don't know. People are saying like they got too big an audience and they're scared for security reasons that people will get killed or some weird shit.
All right, just the four of us chatting.
Yeah, I don't. This is just speculation at LSF. I'm trying to find out. So you're going. You're going to be at TwitchCon EU.
No, NA.
Oh, so you're not going to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam is far away, though.
Anyone who's concerned about the security of an event that's okay with going to the North American version, but not okay with going to the European version, is just a bit jaded on the reality. You should be way more scared to go to an NA event than to an EU one.
Wanting to know about firearms for self-defense or to protect their families. We've also heard of Ukrainians taking up arms in preparation to fight the Russians, should it come to that. There's a good sense of patriotism here. It's a country of 40 million people, and they are not going to go down without a fight, as President Zelensky has said. The Ukrainian people
I don't even know what the fuck is.
If you guys are confused, you're assuming that I'm saying the EU one is in Ukraine. It's in Amsterdam, which is a different country, very far away. Very far away. Yeah, there's not an ocean betwixt them, but very far away, and not a player in this war. Not really. They're pretty chill. At the UN table, they hop in. They're just like, yo, we still got a lot of weed. Red Lake District's doing good. Our land's really flat. And then they go away. That's not the threat point.
Parts of Ukraine being bombed at the same fucking time is way beyond what is even remotely acceptable, like, or way beyond anything that anyone
it's not that far away
would have expected, including fucking.
If Russia's invading Ukraine and the first thought in your mind is Amsterdam safe, that's crazy to me.
Recent days, and he was hoping to sort of mobilize Russian support against what President Putin is doing, even though he undoubtedly knew it would fall on deaf ears.
And Ukraine's president made a plea for peace today, even
Amsterdam is Ja Rule in this situation.
Was met with silence. How have the Ukrainian people reacted to their leadership in this trying time?
You know, I think there's been something of a rallying around Zelensky. He is the democratically elected leader, and although he's a political novice, having come from the world of entertainment, he's been doing all of the things a president can do. He's been urging calm, and indeed we haven't seen any signs of anything but in the last more recent hours, he has started to make his people aware of perhaps what's to
I'm not
come.
joking. He was actually a clown, like professionally trained clown.
In the capital of Kyiv, Zelensky has been urged by the United States to leave.
I haven't done a political
for
stream
his own
since the
safety,
elections, I
but
think.
we believe he is still there, although he has sent parliamentarians.
But I feel like a
back
lot
to
of
their
political discourse is just
constituencies to be with
boredom.
the people.
Aaron, thank you, and be safe. Now, there will no doubt be economic impacts from what's happening overseas tonight, globally and here in the United States. So we turn to ABC's Elizabeth Schulze for more. Elizabeth, there have already been sanctions announced. As the White House indicated,
This shit's real, though. This shit's crazy.
How they will respond to this particular escalation.
Well, Andrew, the White House has released a statement from President Biden that called this an unprovoked and unjustified attack on Ukraine and vowing that the world will hold Russia accountable. So what that will look like is these severe economic penalties that they have been teeing up in case this type of invasion happens. We do know that so far the sanctions have been pretty targeted, focused on a few Russian banks, on the financial system, on oligarchs. This next round, the White House has said, will be coordinated again with its allies and could include broader measures, things like export controls, which would make it difficult for Russia to get access to critical technologies. They're talking about targeting bigger banks that could affect more Russian households, the broader Russian economy, and the possibility of personal sanctions on President Putin.
What does this mean for the price of Bitcoin?
Ultimately, the attempt here is to show that we have a lot of measures that
we
can
sell?
still take that will severely cripple the economy. The U.S. says it's prepared to do this with its allies, and President Biden is expected to make this announcement in a public address tomorrow, Andrew.
And how much could tonight's attack further rock the financial markets?
Well, if there's one thing the stock market doesn't
Yeah, what
like,
are we
it's
gonna do about the
uncertainty,
stocks,
and
boys?
This is a big dose of it. We are already seeing stock
Wait,
market
what?
futures trade lower, and those losses have accelerated as the scope of this has become more clear. You know, one of the biggest questions for traders is how long is this going to last? And of course, we don't know that at this point. So a lot of traders tell me that you can expect very choppy and bumpy trading
Large explosion
in the
seen
coming
in near
days,
Ukraine's
maybe weeks,
Kharkiv
as we
after
try
Putin
to
declares
kind of
war.
look
We
at
already
how
watched
this is
this
gonna
earlier
play
today.
out. Some of those safe haven assets like gold, where a lot of investors go when times of uncertainty,
it's so
are
dumb.
trading higher. And of course,
This
oil prices.
is like literally panic discourse on what you should do with your money. Buy gold, sell, sell, sell. Diamond hands, diamond hands, diamond hands. Panic, 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 panic. Run to the banks, take your money out, put it under your mattress.
Energy prices go from here, and are these price hikes expected to last?
This is the question. We are seeing, Andrew, already
What is gas
Brent
gonna
crude
cost?
oil prices close to $100 a barrel in the wake of this news tonight. That means that the price that you are going to pay at the gas pump could eventually go higher with crude oil prices going higher. So, you know, remember, Russia is the third largest producer, exporter of crude oil in the world, the second largest exporter of natural gas.
See.
A lot of this is going to mean that European consumers pay higher prices at the pump or in their heating bills, especially
already
if what
pay a
Russia
fuck ton.
decides to do is retaliate in response to these sanctions that we expect
Europeans
to be
get
announced
so
by the
heavily
US
taxed
and by its allies. If
on
Russia then
gas.
decides to pull back supply from the market to further disrupt the oil market, that could mean that there's more disruption for consumers here, and that could result in higher prices. You know, we've already seen prices go up
I don't know why
so
it's so
much.
desynced.
Gas prices are up 20 cents for the national average gallon of gas here in the U.S., and a lot of analysts say you can expect to see $4 gallon of gas if we continue prices trending higher, Andrew.
And Elizabeth, is there anything the Biden administration can do to try to mitigate the economic fallout here in the U.S.?
I can't wait for fucking liberals to be like, Putin did this so Donald Trump could win the election again or some shit.
Bear some of the pain of these measures that we are imposing, and part
It's
of that
true.
is the cost
Be
of
on the
democracy.
lookout for hot takes.
But on the other hand,
Hot
inflation
take?
is already
Lib
a
here?
problem here in the U.S. It's already pinching
true.
Americans. So they've tried to say we're making a coordinated effort, the U.S. with other countries around the world, to stock up on oil reserves in case Russia does decide to pull back, to stock up on natural gas reserves.
Let's take a look
to
at
try to
Trump's
say,
tweet.
We are
Oh, wait.
prepared. We have enough ready to go to subvert some of the shocks that could be in place here in the market. At the same time, the U.S. isn't ruling out other options like releasing oil from its strategic petroleum reserve. This is something that it did earlier this year when we saw gas prices going up. How much
Yo,
of an
this is
effect
crazy.
that will have for the average
Daily Dose. My cousin lives in Belarus, which is next to Ukraine. He says the news media in Belarus is claiming that the invasion of Ukraine is fake and not happening.
big disruptions like this, it does trickle
I hope
down
your
to the
cousin's right prayer hands emoji.
Elizabeth Schulze there
I don't
in
think that was the
Washington,
point of the
DC.
tweet.
Thank you. Let's turn now to ABC News contributor and retired General Robert Abrams. General Abrams was an advisor to former U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel during the last invasion of Ukraine, and more recently was the head of U.S. forces in Korea. Thank you, General. Okay, so U.S. defense officials were expecting this invasion to come tonight under the cover of night. Why this
Does
timing?
this mean my
Why in the
chat will
dark?
all
And was this meant to be
divergence?
a surprise attack?
Well, I think the timing, there's a lot of factors on the timing, and you've touched on a couple of them. Historically and typically, military operations, we like to initiate them under the cover of darkness. The advantage goes to the attacker, and it's when it disrupts people's circadian rhythm. It's disruptive to people's sleep cycles, the Ukrainian military people's sleep cycles.
You're saying this in such a weird way.
Striking,
Thanks, man.
During the hours of darkness gives the advantage to the attacker.
Yeah, we got that.
Why today, I think, is tied to several factors. I think the weather had something to do with it. Weather fairly good today across the country, not as good in the east. But
They have like a groundhog, and if he comes out and he sees his shadow, they go to war that day. And this is the day that it happened.
Ideal for the attacker, but it's not ideal for the defender either. And so I think that was probably a neutral state of play between the attacker and the defender. I think there's some symbolism on starting it today. This is the Russian Army Day of Remembrance. And I think there's a...
Bro, why did they bring him on, dude?
There to be able to initiate this defense.
Hot take, Ukraine relied on the U.S. and Europe for help on the ground. Donbass decision.
On the same day. So I think many of those things played into his decision to launch his attack today.
What do you expect the Russian military forces to do in the coming hours? It's just after 6 a.m. in Ukraine. What could morning look like?
We like to attack at nighttime because it's dark and it's harder to see.
So true.
Pay attention to what Putin said. What he
He's like,
said
as you all know, when the sun goes down, it's dark
Don't
and
do
your
your accent.
eyesight is not as good.
You like your accent too
This
much.
is why we like to attack in the dark.
Denazify Ukraine. So I think we should.
Aiden Ross tweeted, God damn, thank God. What did Aiden Ross say about this? Innocent lives are being lost as I write this tweet. Heartbreaking, praying for Ukraine. Keep the news coming, boys. We need to find out what these celebrities are saying.
Or completely disarm the Ukrainian military. And it will not be limited
Let's check back in on the weekend.
to one part of the country. When he says demilitarize, that means destroy or disarm their capability to defend themselves.
You know what? I've always been an
And
Aiden
then
Ross
on the
fan over the weekend.
denazification, I think that's not a veiled threat. That is a clear, unambiguous threat to the leadership, the elected governmental officials of Ukraine.
Stop writing
that he
tweets then.
intends
Innocent
to
lives are being
replace
lost
Are
as
you
I write
fucking
this tweet.
stupid? That's not what he's saying. He's saying denazification because he's talking about like the Azov battalion, even Russian propaganda, if you believe it at face value, which is obviously not like everyone, but they're talking about like the fucking National Guard members who are literally a part of the fucking Nazi and their sympathizers potentially, but not like the entire country.
And let's go back
I
to
didn't
the
understand
aid
anything
for
about that.
Ukraine. How much could the military assets provided
I gotta
by
go
the
pee.
U.S., like those Javelin missiles, help Ukraine in a conflict
Hassan moment.
with a country like Russia?
Yo, they did not help.
So those, the Javelin missiles and other arms and ammunition that are being provided by other NATO countries will be enormously helpful to the Ukrainian military. But as Steve pointed out earlier,
Not tonight.
The Ukrainian military is good. They're very good, and they're a lot better than they were in 2014. But unfortunately, size does matter, and numbers do matter when it comes to squaring these two countries up against each other. And Russia has a decisive advantage in a couple of areas. They have it in surface-to-surface missiles. They have it in combat aircraft.
Way more aircraft.
They have it in combat helicopters. And that is something that Ukraine just does not have, and it puts them at a military disadvantage. So I suspect and I fully expect that the Ukrainian military will put up
Did I hear
a
size
very
matters?
stiff defense. But
I can't
we're
handle
looking
more
at some
bad news
very
today, boys.
tough days. The amount of firepower that Russia has aligned against the Ukrainian military right now is enormous. And I would expect us to see it completely unleashed here in the next 24 hours.
Some tough days ahead. General Abrams, thank you. Let's bring in former Homeland Security official and ABC News contributor Elizabeth Newman now. Today, Ukraine
What's up, Liz?
experienced some
Do you have the same
smaller-scale
fucking
cyber
bookshelf
attacks,
as the
but
other
Russia
guy?
is capable of much larger cyber attacks. Talk about what those could look like.
Bookshelf's ugly as fuck.
Right. So today we initially saw some DDoS attacks. Those are
Love the
denial
paint,
of
though.
service attacks.
Great trim.
Which think about not being able to access your bank
Are those
or
awards
a
up there?
government website where you need some
Gloating
information.
a little bit.
It's disruptive, but it's not really of the size and scale that we expect. But then later this afternoon, we actually got word that some malware had been released. It's a data wipe malware, and it had infected, reports are up to hundreds of computers in Ukraine, and the damage that type of attack can cause could be significant depending on which places were targeted. And what some of the cyber experts are postulating, it's all pretty early to deduce everything, but they think that the DDoS attacks may have been launched to be able to distract from the other activities embedding this malware in networks. So it is very possible and likely that we will see more attacks kind of unfurl over the next few days, and
right.
with a particular focus on Ukraine.
How does he eat so much food?
And
You ever
the
think
purpose
about that?
of those is to try to cause more disruption, and in particular damage and disrupt the ability to communicate with the public,
Big man,
as well
fair
as
enough.
to exercise command and control
He's gotta be
of
bulking,
the
right?
military and organizing your response as a government. So I would expect to see more of those. We might also see attacks on infrastructure, taking out the energy grid. They actually did this to Ukraine back in 2015, took out power for about 1 to 6
My
hours.
conspiracy theory is that Russians have been doing a misinformation campaign in the USA about this entire war against Ukraine and have garnered enough support for the Russian government to do this that there's no real action the U.S. could ever take because it would just be political turmoil. Because like even the prediction that the war would happen was basically it was like a political divide. It was like libs who were like war's happening, and then Republicans who were like no shot, you're dumb as shit, Joe Byron.
With state and local officials, with private businesses, with the banks, anybody that is an owner or operator of critical infrastructure with a particular focus on
It's always been like that?
communications,
I guess it's not a conspiracy theory then.
internet, energy, oil and gas. We are very concerned that those businesses.
I'm getting two people in chat. One who is question marking me, like what I'm saying makes no sense, and then the other who is saying this is already proven to have happened.
Cyber warfare is conducted, you often try to infiltrate, plant viruses, plant malware that is quiet and silent, and then you activate it when you need it. So the battlefield has probably already been prepped, and they've been trying to alert everybody to be on the lookout for suspicious activity. Shields up, as they say. But from an American citizen standpoint, what does this mean for us? It could mean that we see disruptions. You remember that we had the Colonial Pipeline attack. It was a ransomware attack, a little bit different than probably what we would see in this circumstance. But it didn't take much. It didn't take much to shut down that pipeline, and disruptions to gas
Daily Dose
supplies
deleted his
occurred
tweet.
pretty quickly.
Fair enough.
Prices went up, and then there were parts of the country where there were lines and people had to wait for the gas tank to come and fill up the station in order for them to fill up their cars.
Chad saying everyone
those types of
uninstalled
disruptions
Tarkov?
are very plausible, and we saw Putin kind of threaten that tonight. I do wonder
Oh, dude.
if his threat
Forget
to
about
the
Elden
US
Ring. We got a
central
Michael
West, that
Barbaro
we
daily
may,
episode
if we
about this.
involve ourselves in some way, we might see attacks of the like that we haven't ever seen in our history before. That could be a reference to cyber warfare. We really have not seen the full scale of what it would look like for the United States and Russia to go head-to-head from a cyber perspective, because, of course, if they attack us, we have some offensive capability as well. We would likely retaliate, and where does that go? So the world's never seen that, and that is... that's a little disturbing. I think I know that the people in the United States government that manage those capabilities are very mindful of the precedent.
Since World War
that
III is trending, here's a map of all
entering
the
into cyber
potential
conflict,
nuclear strike
may
targets.
set and the dangers that might pose.
Ludwig is so owned.
We will see.
Idaho,
how Russia
baby.
chooses to handle itself.
A lot more.
Blood buds to Idaho,
It's like
baby.
our
Let's
cyber
go.
security protect- our cyber
And
defense
now we
are.
want to check back in with
That's an old map, by the way, from 1990.
Taylor. Thank you for joining us again. Now, in a statement, the White House said that
Our
the
cybersecurity
president
is
plans to deliver
awful.
remarks tomorrow announcing further consequences for Russia. What could those further consequences be?
Andrew, he could pull out all the stops, and he should pull out all the stops. This is a major violation
What does that mean?
of Ukrainian sovereignty, major violation of international law, major invasion of a sovereign nation, in violation of everything that has kept the peace for all this time. And we have been very clear. President Biden has been very clear. The allies have been very clear that if he does this, if President Putin does this, which he has now done, that we will throw all of these
Bro, Biden
sanctions,
literally said he wouldn't send troops to Ukraine.
export bans at him. And so I would imagine that we will see the maximum level of sanctions against top Russian banks, maybe SWIFT, maybe against the Russian central bank. This is a nuclear option in financial sanctions.
Don't use that analogy when talking about Russia-U.S. That was such a terrible analogy. We're taking a nuclear option with these sanctions.
And what we said we didn't want him to do, and if he
We are going to blow up these central banks financially. We are sending in troops online to tell Russia what they are doing is wrong.
This meeting that just wrapped, it was a Ukrainian ambassador addressing his Russian counterpart.
That's crazy. Nuclear.
There is no purgatory for war criminals. They go straight to hell, Ambassador.
What's your reaction?
Damn. He just said you're going to hell.
Right.
And then mic dropped.
Bro, you're talking to the American ambassador, dog. I mean, he's a war criminal too.
Different war. Doesn't count.
Will be
Doesn't count.
Will be thousands, tens of thousands. Unprovoked attack on a nation, a sovereign nation.
Where do you think he's going?
On Putin's
Heaven, baby.
border,
Love God.
Thousands
That's my guy.
of civilians and military. This is a war crime. The ambassador is absolutely right. President Putin will go down with other war criminals. Like
Our
in
word
the
didn't
past
count. They didn't say
century,
Simon Says.
who ordered attacks on innocent people, who ordered attacks on nations on their borders. President Putin will go down with that club, with that group of people, that group of war criminals.
Now that we're here, this crisis has been building for weeks. Do you think the United States and NATO allies
people saying
did
like
enough
you,
in terms
but
of sanctions, in your opinion, beforehand to try and prevent what just happened here tonight?
American war criminals don't get that kind of attention or coverage. They get celebrated.
Took a lot of
Look at Henry
steps
Kissinger.
before this happened. And
Literal
that was a good
terrorist.
thing. They moved a lot of troops. They moved a lot of units from the United States to Eastern Europe. They moved
Look
a
at
lot
Bush.
of U.S. forces from one part, from
He has a good
Germany,
goal swing, though.
parts
Obama.
of Europe into
Has a good
the
basketball
eastern
shot.
part of eastern flank of NATO. Those were active steps, active deterrence. That was an attempt to deter President Putin from what he's done today. So that deterrence has now failed. And now we go into exacting the price. We said we were going to do this. We're going to exact a price for doing this on his economy, on him, on his
He's
industry.
so racially motivated.
Now's
Obama
the
played
time to do
basketball.
that.
What could be the next move from NATO?
You never seen the
allies
clip of
then
him?
if those
Baseline
sanctions
sinking
did
a three?
not deter Russia from invading?
So two things. One is to continue to provide and increase dramatically the assistance that now the Ukrainian military needs more than ever. The Ukrainian military is on its own. There are no NATO forces.
How the fuck is
there
he
to
still
help
eating?
them, to fight with them,
Bro, what is 6,000 NATO Andes gonna do?
So they need support. They
You
need
think go
equipment,
show
they
to
need
Ukraine?
ammunition, they
The
need
fuck are you NATO Andes
the-
gonna do?
The basis of resistance.
This is so bitch made.
And they are going to need then continued support to resist the Russians as
I
they
feel like
try
the
to
only
occupy.
thing that's going to happen
The Russians
is
can get
everybody
in.
admonishes
Russians
Russia,
can get into Ukraine. There's no doubt about that.
economic sanctions, call it a day.
Try to hold.
Dog,
they try
they're
to do something.
Russians are already actively shelling like strategic positions inside of Ukraine. They have boots on the ground, and this guy's like, "Oh, we're gonna give him guns. We'll give him more guns, dude. They have guns, bro. They have guns. There is literally nothing you can do in this situation. Either you go to all-out war, which is impossible because Russia is a nuclear power, and that would mean nuclear holocaust, or you have to fucking suck it the fuck up and get to the table with them, and come to an agreement. But then again, I don't even fucking know. Or you just keep pumping Ukraine full of guns. Okay, you keep pumping them full of guns, and then you give these like sanctions off to Russia with the hopes that it actually hurts them. You try to cut them off from their strategic partners, depending on whether or not, however that fucking Chinese relationship went with Xi Jinping before this entire thing unfolded, because that could mean they get at least some kind of material support from a superpower. I'm not being militarist. I don't want full-scale war. I don't want that at all. I've never wanted that, and I still don't want that. But this conflict does not get resolved without talking to Russia, without having Ukraine and Russia at the table and having a fucking conversation and trying to put together an agreement that is going to be incredibly favorable to Russia.
What I'm wondering, though, if that is the case, which it seems like it is, then why wasn't the conversation why didn't it happen before? If the conversation is just going to be a big win for Russia and it's just going to be like, all right, we promise to never add Ukraine to NATO, why didn't they just do that before the war? If they also knew that they were going to invade.
And also destroying Ukraine.
It's not about NATO?
Afghanistan 2.0.
What is it about?
Afghanistan 2 electric
Outside
boogaloo,
of
but
drive
this time
and power.
In Russia's doorstep. Live from Kiev?
It's Saturday night.
What is this?
I just read this tweet as I made that joke.
Holy fuck. Wait, is that a fucking... Is that like a commercial building? Hold up. What the fuck, dude? Look at this.
One person in my chat said it's a power plant.
It may be an in-and-out attack like they suggested earlier. They go in for the week, kill off some of them, and then hope for a surrender of some territories. They really made an edit out of this? Wait, edit out of what? What?
Yes. They're fucked, dude.
I told my mom Russia declared war about an hour ago, and she replied, "It's all propaganda." Okay. The other part of this is that, like, I think a lot of Russian paratroopers on TikTok. Wait, what? Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking insane? Yo, what the fuck? Okay, maybe I take it back. I take it back. Zoomers, this is what happens when Zoomers are going to war.
Crazy.
Never mind. Zoomer Russians are... Read the comments on the tweet. No shot did they film this. This video is 5 days old. If you look at this TikTok profile, oh god damn it!
Dude, that's gonna be all day today. All the footages of bombings are gonna be a lot of old bombings because there's no real updated footage of it, but people want to look at that shit. You know what I mean? I feel like that happens all the fucking time. In every video you look at that, you're like, dude, that's crazy. I can't believe that's happening. Then you just like, you find out 3 days later it was fake, but you don't care at that point. You're already like, shmee shmop. Shmee shmop, too late. Who cares? Not to say that there's not a war and there are not bombings and there are not troops, but it's crazy how much effort you have to put in to verify that what you are looking at is a real thing.
Russian troops crossing into the border into Kharkiv. Russian troops have landed in Odessa and are crossing the border in Kharkiv.
Emily in Washington, D.C. Obviously, the president fully informed about what's going on here. What's the latest?
Yeah, Ali, we've been getting periodic updates from White House officials throughout the night, and my colleague Peter Alexander just shares a significant development, I think. President Biden is actually on the phone right now with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Obviously, an important consultation at this late hour in Washington, but in the very early hours there in Kyiv to show support for our ally at this very critical moment. Just before we learned
say on
that,
the phone?
the White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tweeting that the president had just convened a secure phone call with his Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, the Defense Secretary, Lloyd Austin, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, as well as his National Security Advisor, Jake Sullivan. Earlier, they also had said he would be monitoring developments closely throughout the night and getting updates as they continue from Jake Sullivan. Now, the last we heard from the president directly was in the form of a paper statement released about an hour ago, which began by saying that the thoughts and prayers of the entire world were with the people of Ukraine. And then
daybreak.
We heard in that statement from the president,
What
much
time
of
is it in
what
Ukraine?
we've been
Like
hearing
7 a.m.?
from this president throughout the last few weeks. laying this
7
entire
a.m.,
conflict, this
6:45.
entire crisis squarely at the hands of President Putin, saying it is Putin who has chosen to make an unprovoked and unjustified attack, that this is Putin who is alone responsible for death and destruction that this attack will bring. And then Biden signaling how he will respond, saying that the United States and its allies and partners will respond in a decisive way. Now, what's next in terms of the president's schedule? We know tomorrow morning he is scheduled at 9 o'clock Eastern time to have a meeting, virtual meeting with the leaders, fellow leaders of the G7.
No shot Israel's blocking U.S. transfer of Iron Dome missile defense systems to Ukraine. Oh my God, I did not fucking see this. Oh my Lord. I mean, Israel is aligned with Russia.
Iron Defense is like their insane technology to stop nukes and stuff and bombs.
Story than Germany blocking Estonia sending German-made weapons to Ukraine. We're wrong in everything. Dude, I already admitted that.
Not nukes?
Like, yeah,
They just
it's
stop bombs?
fucking insane.
Anti-missile
It was completely
missiles?
insane. If your number one fucking purpose is to be here gloating when people are potentially fucking dying, I don't know what to tell you.
Response based on how Putin proceeds. In the last
Old
24
tweet, that was
hours,
a week
really, at
old.
the White House, we've been hearing from White House officials this sense that
Maybe they changed their mind now?
yes, everything that they're predicting has come true.
Like,
so
I already
far.
admitted and apologized.
At that moment, an imminent invasion of the kind that we now seem to be seeing unfold, that they were hoping that they were wrong. Clearly, they're not, but that they're now prepared to go even further in terms of the sanctions posture.
Worth noting that the G7 that you were talking about used to be the G8, because Russia used to be in it. And during the Trump administration, there were some efforts to get Russia back into the G8 by that administration. Mike, we'll keep in touch with you on this. I want to go to Ambassador Mike McFaul. Ambassador, I just want to point out to our viewers right now, for those watching markets, obviously they are tumbling around the world. Oil prices, Brent crude, which is not the
Don't want to fake news, but Rubio is saying Russian airborne troops are in the Kiev airport. Yeah, there's a few tweets about that. And then a fake TikTok.
Our crude, the U.S. light sweet crude, is on its way up there, around $97 a barrel. This is, of course, important because the one thing Russia has and the one cudgel that Russia has over its European neighbors is oil and gas.
I go back and forth between covering the market impact, because market impact is still significant, because that's the way that you're going to actually cripple Russia. You know what I mean? After this point, it'll turn into a war of attrition. Who else can fucking stand? Like, will Europe be able to fucking? Will Europe not cave?
Last stream until tomorrow.
Because of their over-reliance on.
I went live with this title because I was like, last stream until tomorrow, because we're supposed to do a marathon stream and play Elden Ring. Had no idea what I was going to do today. Then a war was declared. So if I wasn't live, this is what I'd be doing. So, you know, I am live. I'll just still do it. Also, okay, let me quick recap, and then you guys tell me if I'm right or wrong. And I think the collective hive mind of you guys is smart enough to figure this out. Yeah, I'll probably still play Elden Ring. Because some people, okay, don't say wrong yet. I haven't even said a word. Brendan, you piece of shit. I'm freaking out. If you don't live in Ukraine or anywhere near, I don't think there's a reason to fear at the moment.
Feels like the city is still, you know, they're just chilling.
I don't think World War III comes from this.
Like, shit blew the fuck up. I mean, I guess the Kiev airport
I think
is like
all
kinda
parties
far
involved
out
are pretty aware that
from
war
the
would be
main,
crazy.
From the main part of the city. But it's kind of crazy that they're just like literally chilling. Like, motherfuckers are going back to work and shit.
Is happening here. I think we're just in the early stages, and I think there's tragically going to be a lot more to come.
And I thought they would
looking
invade.
Actually, at a live picture of Kyiv right now, and you can't see any of that stuff. But to the point that you make, Ambassador, there is a way, there's a strategy. The White House has actually been pretty accurate all along.
Twitter,
about
I'm gonna
what the
add
Russians,
my Twitter.
were
Like,
going
can you
to
imagine
do.
being a fucking wage cuck working at like the Kiev McDonald's, and you have to like drive your little Vespa to work? Bombs fucking blew up. It's martial law, and you're just fucking wage cucking.
Why you gotta?
Who's gonna walk in, dude? What are you gonna order a McDouble?
Why you gotta shame the Vespa, bro? Nothing wrong with the Vespa.
It's crazy. I'm just saying. It's like at least there's one day that you would, you take off fucking work. Nazis getting fucked. This is also where the Azov Nazis are. To those,
This happens in America 100%. If I worked at Best Buy still, they'd be like, "Where were you 10 a.m. You're supposed to be there. You don't clock in until 10, but I want you here at 9:55.
LPR, DPR forces.
This is a live stream by someone? This Reddit live streamer is someone live streaming from Kiev?
There are a lot of fans just like me here waiting for him. I know his family story is connected in painful ways sorry, to Ukraine, and I've also kind of pointed it out in the stream, but yeah, I'm gonna share my Twitter name just in a sec.
It's way emptier than I thought it'd be. I thought there'd be like traffic. Okay, there are the cars.
Objective that he has stated for this military operation.
It's 10 minutes to 7
Still
a.m.
bald
in
and
Kyiv,
still
what
single
we're showing on the left
and
side
no
of the screen
kids.
now is a
I'm
highway,
miserable.
a major route in which people are leaving the city now. You can see that. You can see some sirens and lights, but you're now.
I would imagine
seeing,
that would be the first thing
remarkable
everyone would
traffic
do if there was ever
of,
any attack in
out
LA.
of Kyiv.
Is drive the fuck out.
Ambassador, are you able to shed some light on this denazification stuff and why Vladimir Putin thinks that would be useful to talk about and who is susceptible to it? Because I remember in 2014, there was also an effort to undermine the opposition to the then pro-Russian government by saying that they're anti-Semites and they're Nazis. What's the provenance of this discussion?
Well, you're absolutely right. That's when he started using the phrase Nazis supported by NATO, right? The two N-words, as we called it back in 2014.
What?
And there is, you know,
What
to
the?
remember,
I'm sorry. What did you call them?
I don't think that's what you
Oh,
call them.
what?
Because they were
I don't think
occupied by the
that's what
Soviet
you
Union.
call it,
Let's
bro.
remember, you know, they considered themselves a colony.
You could probably
Very
workshop a
small
different
group.
name
One
there.
should not, you know, exaggerate it. But he is pulling on that string, right? He's pulling on that thread from history to say that what you had was a neo-Nazi usurpation of power in 2014. That's what he said in his rambling speech from 2 days ago when he went on for an hour to explain and justify it. And he's appealing to Russians. He's trying to explain this to Russians. And, you know, again, you know, we've seen the polling, the majority support him, majority support these independent republics becoming independent countries. You know, there's some alleged reporting on polling on that. But a couple of things to remember. One, polling in authoritarian countries is hard to do. What incentive does anybody have to tell you what they really think? You know, when Ivan Ivanovich calls you up on the phone from Moscow and says, hey, you know, I'm doing polling here. What do you think of Putin? What do you think of this operation?
This is my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing that people say. They say polling is unreliable because people are fearful that it might be the government killing you.
Russians every single day. I don't see any enthusiasm for this war. Like, why are we attacking them? He tells us there are we're from the same nation, but we're attacking these Nazis. And the Nazi leader, allegedly, is this guy Zelensky. And I want to remind everybody, Zelensky's first language was Russian. You know, we had a long
He's
conversation.
going to say Zelensky's Jewish, which he is. And he's not talking. Zelensky is not a fucking Nazi.
Very popular television personality in Russia. Okay? And so when he, you know,
Damn, he didn't
it's
mention
hard
him,
for
actually.
Russians
He
to
didn't
look
mention
at
that he was
Zelensky
Jewish.
and say he's a Nazi, and that's why I think Putin needs this.
Okay, Zelensky's not a fucking Nazi at all. He's a lib. Like, he's just like a centrist neoliberal guy. Okay?
Not for us, but for his own people back home.
But if the
So Putin, in a speech, yesterday, said that there are Nazis in Ukraine, and that justifies this invasion because we're getting rid of Nazis.
1939, that under the guise of protecting Germans in Poland, Hitler invaded, and that started World War II.
It did, and by the way, 2 weeks later, Moscow invaded Poland too. So that people need to remember that small fact about 1939.
Bro, I love Americans, dude. It's like they gotta take one shot at the fucking. They gotta take a shot at the USSR anytime.
Matt, what's going on?
Hey, Ali, we are hearing some shelling right now in the background. We're trying. It's actually behind the camera. We're
Dude,
trying
journalists
to kind
are
of figure out where it
badass.
is.
I can hear it.
I'm not
yeah.
sure if you can hear it. It's still sounds pretty distant.
Draft the unvaccinated?
But it's ongoing.
What
again,
the
though,
fuck? Yo,
Ali,
liberals have lost their
this city,
minds.
you just don't get the same impression as my colleague Evan
That's
McLaughlin
fire,
was
dude.
saying. You don't get the same impression that people are fleeing. We're starting to see public transportation working. It's dawn here. Taxis are circulating in the streets. But we are still hearing the distant sound of shelling. This place is a little different. This is eastern Ukraine. People here are a little more ready for war. They're expecting this to happen. And they are Russian speakers. They may have the belief that Vladimir Putin's military won't come in here
what's this
and attack
about?
civilians. Because...
Oh, what's this about, dude? In the 24 hours after Putin recognized 2 breakaway Ukrainian republics, the U.S. and its allies bought $700 million in Russian oil, gas, commodities. Do you want to know what this is about?
No, tell me.
It's about gearing up for the ongoing fucking sanctions against Russia, so they're at least stocked the fuck up.
So they bought a bunch of oil before doing the sanctions because there's going to be counter sanctions, and if you do it before the sanctions come in, then you get a better price.
I love war in 2022. They're just like straight up. They're
feels like insider trading.
I guess Coca-Cola kept making fucking Coca-Cola for Germany during Nazi Germany, or at least that's how Fanta was born, right?
Sometimes he whips out random facts.
Corporations and businesses are gonna keep fucking doing business. Oh, people are saying that the war was declared earlier, like. Anyway, let's see.
From the Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of Defense, because we are right over the border from Belgorod. And this is a place where we've already started to see a lot of hardware mustering and a lot of troops mustering. Some of the big items like Sukhoi jets, attack helicopters, battle tanks, and self-propelled howitzers. These things, we're expecting them to come over the border. We did hear one report that we're starting to hear troops coming over the border.
Ukraine is not part of NATO. Why are you saying Ukraine is part of NATO? That's not a real thing.
But we still need more information.
Isn't that the entire point of this invasion?
This literally is the reason why Ukraine is not a part of NATO.
That's what I was thinking too, Hassan.
Or see anything, wave your hand and we'll put you right back on. I want to go to Keir Simmons, who's got new reporting in Moscow and Vladimir Putin's decision to begin this incursion. Keir?
That's right, Ali. Well, we've just been speaking to a former Russian official with very close ties to the Kremlin.
Motherfuckers be like, Ukraine is not yet a part of NATO. You think NATO is going to want to fucking add Ukraine into NATO while it's currently being invaded by the one country that NATO is built against?
What's
elements to this that we will hear in
chat?
the
My
hours
political
ahead.
correspondence. What are we looking at here?
Half of the fucking reason why this invasion happened is because of invasions like this, you can't have a country like Ukraine in NATO. Because Article 5 would dictate that it would be a fucking
I'm letting
world
Hassan
war.
finish.
We're
What's
waiting
this
on,
looking like for
Ukraine's Interior
Ukraine?
Ministry has said there have already been hundreds of casualties. Oh, fuck.
Is Ukraine just fucked in this spot? If no country's willing to enter the war with Ukraine and only willing to arm them, and their army is vastly outpowered and outnumbered.
As a result of these attacks, there are hundreds of casualties. Now, we don't know how many of those people are dead, how many are injured, or whether that figure is accurate. But we do know that the Interior Ministry of Ukraine is putting the number of casualties so far in this nationwide assault, missile assault.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
In the hundreds, which is, you know,
it might not be as bad. It might not be as bad yet. These are okay. Even if it's Ukrainian Interior Ministry numbers, don't know yet. It might not be as bad. I hope it's not as bad. Okay. Yes, they already declared martial law. Civilian combatants, we don't know. Okay. I would bet that it's about thousands of deaths at this point due to 7+ Ukrainian cities reporting explosions. I mean, my hope, in a weird way, is I hope that it's just military positions. So it's like limited, and all of the cities had targeted, limited. Wait, what? Daily dose. I'm watching. My cousin in Belarus says that the news media outlets in Belarus are saying that no invasion has happened yet.
That was a deleted tweet.
Fuck?
Wasn't that deleted, chat? Someone told me it was deleted.
Is that true? Is Belarusian news like Belarus news actually fucking saying
no, that was
there's
deleted.
no invasion going on. Dude, they are such simps for Russia.
Dude, isn't it impossible to do any... Why did he delete it? Presumably because it was maybe a little bit of misinformation. Maybe he found out that it wasn't fully accurate. I'm recognizing the hardest problem that any average person will have in just this war is what information to trust or not trust. Because Hassan is like real-time consuming this information and then maybe deciding whether it's true or not. But the ramifications, if it's not true, are pretty small, right? He just kind of is like, oh, shit, that wasn't true. But you move on. But you've already absorbed it. Cutie just went through this on Twitter. She just tweeted this out, which is a quote retweet from these missiles. And then she tweeted out, some people are saying this is fake or unreliable. Which is like, to be informed in real time requires an impossible level of like fact checking.
Or Russia.
That I think the average person can't do.
I can't believe what a fucking hyper-specific reference.
And he said, yes, that's how it's going. That's not surprising. We know that President Putin makes all the decisions. In the end, he will have had advice from that small clique around him.
You are now media attack discourse.
He's a decision maker. And another
look at Bitcoin. Don't
his
care.
Televised address, which again, just to reiterate, the Russians will be.
I was memeing when I said, "What does this mean for the price of Bitcoin?" earlier.
Now, another element from that televised address, which is chilling, frankly, is that President Putin refers to Russia's nuclear capability and clearly openly threatens Western leaders. So he says, even after the collapse of the USSR, the loss of a significant part of its nuclear potential, Russia is today one of the most powerful nuclear powers.
I think that's why a lot of people are attached towards Hassan, because he's a guy who just kind of shoots from the hip, and he seems pretty knowledgeable. And so whatever information you get from him, you can usually trust.
Have any doubt that a direct attack on Russia will lead to defeats.
But that means when he's super wrong,
what?
He's not. I mean, he's enough for 130,000 people to trust him, right? With like the news update. I'm not saying
do that.
He's the best source. I'm saying 130,000 people
don't
trust
ever
him.
Send that.
President Putin's state
Don't ever send shit like that.
They met was different from the past.
What just happened?
Don't send shit like that, chatter. That's probably misinformation. Don't do that. Don't send stuff like that.
I missed what just happened.
One of the worst things that happens, listen, one of the worst things that happens in situations like this, obviously other than like fucking literal people dying, human casualties, all of that, from a media standpoint, is whenever shit like this pops off, people routinely try to lie and spread misinformation.
Dude, I feel like Hassan is saying everything I'm saying 10 minutes later.
Unless it's like literally January 6th, or unless it's like this. One of the main points of my media literacy for all of you is to look for verified sources. Either it's journalists that you already know are on the ground, journalists from, mainstream media.
He's got me on the second monitor, bro. I'm telling you.
Sources like that. Always have to fucking, you always have to go with verified sources, because a lot of people fucking, a lot of people are just like trying to get as much clout as possible, so they just like write fake shit out. Put fake shit out there.
I think he's right. But in the same breath that he says that, he's also trying to real-time analyze everything that's happening.
Like this, I don't know what the
and he clicks on random links from chat, some of which could be true, some of which aren't, but he obviously can't do real-time fact-checking of these things. So he just kind of watches it and makes a judgment call, which he's been wrong on at least one or two of the things he's brought up.
That
at least
they have sent the activity that they've got going on.
Bro, homie is walking his dogs, dude.
A few things going on that we should tell you about. Airspace has been closed.
Are you serious?
Ukrainians are hard, dude.
Some reporting that the bombs that
Ukrainians don't give a fuck.
In and around Kiev,
Chad.
Someone,
Chad, dog's got his shit. Dog's got his shit. What you gonna do about it?
We've not been able to confirm that. As Keir said, these are the moments in which we are in the fog of war. We're not entirely sure what's true or not, but our reporters have heard explosions with their own ears. There are reports, Courtney Kube had suggested that the U.S. intelligence had heard that we would start with Russian shelling, perhaps, of military installations.
Bro, at that point, I let the dog shit inside, okay?
No.
I'm just saying.
Soft.
I let the dog shit inside and pee inside. What the fuck?
Dogs need to go on walks. They need the exercise, bro.
The area around the airport in Kyiv that is being shelled.
Chad Ukrainian versus the soy American.
Is in Mariupol, Ukraine, southeastern Ukraine. Aaron McLaughlin is in Kyiv. Aaron, last we left you a few moments ago, you were hearing fairly constant shelling. What's the story now?
Yeah, we've been hearing missile strikes, cruise and ballistic missile strikes. That, according to
Sure, yeah.
Minister of Interior.
Yeah.
It started
All right,
in
boys.
the early hours of the morning. The last 30 minutes, though, have
Let me
been
be right back.
comparatively
Cat got
quiet.
out
We
again.
are seeing a stream of
Unverified reports of Moldova, not Transnistria.
waking up to these explosions are evacuating the capital of Kyiv. We have just heard from the Ukrainian president in a statement that he posted to social media.
Yo. What up? Hello. Hello, what up, boys? Hello. What up? Sorry about that. Dude, the cat wasn't out. Hello. What happened? Just the door was left open, basically. The door was left open. Classic cat's out, cat's not out situation. I probably won't stay live that long. I just figure I'd go live in case anyone is stressed out and worried. But I don't think we'll go watch Hassan for the next couple hours. I was scared. Well, it's all good, bro. Everything's good, brother. Well, here. It's very not good in other places of the world. Specifically. Last stream, everything's still a plan. Everything's a go. Still planning on doing the marathon stream tomorrow. What happened? What's happening? Doors left open. Cat was supposedly out. Actually just under the bed. Under Nick's bed, which is rare. Which has happened before. But it was like a year ago. And what's happening in the world is Russia is doing a full-scale invasion in Ukraine. Which is crazy. People are saying ground troops? Is this real shit?
Got a really large conventional force. And there's
Where's
no
the
question that
background?
Russia
There's still
has
background on this
the edge
Austin
here
Ox. How is this
militarily,
transparent?
but they are not going to win the hearts and souls of the Ukrainians. And they took on Afghanistan, and look at how that went for them.
Yes. Which is
their withdrawal from Afghanistan, their defeat there was the beginning of the end of the Soviet Union.
Yeah, the Russian population.
Hello.
The one thing about
Ukraine tweeted? Wait, what?
Their government getting involved in long, drawn-out wars. Obviously, by the way, as you said correctly, it's the Black Sea, not the Caspian Sea. Getting a little late in the night for me, but it's not so.
Ukraine tweeted, dude, no way. What? Dude, they're trolling. They're dropping memes.
Poland, but it's those countries that you named, the Baltic states, are very deeply concerned about this. They all have large Russian populations, sometimes in excess of 20%, and they're very worried about this thesis that Vladimir Putin has, that Russians anywhere else require the umbrella of protection of Russia. It reminds them of what Hitler did in 1939 as an excuse to go into Poland.
Want to see some crazy shit, dude? This is a tweet from Ukraine 2.5 months ago. Types of headaches: migraine, hypertension, stress, living next to Russia. from Ukraine's official Twitter account. They were right, dude. They were right. They were memeing, but they were also right.
I don't understand. I mean, our major
apparently Russia
just, like,
replied
fucking
some weak shit.
I don't really understand it. Ukraine military says information about the landing of Russian
Russia's
troops in Odessa is
Crimean
false.
wine causes
Ukraine
no
military says Air Force and
RWH.
Armed forces of Ukraine is repelling an air attack by the invader.
It's a weak reply.
What is
I'd agree.
happening? By the way, it almost feels like Russia itself, because like I've heard Russian misinformation on the Russian side, greatly exaggerating all of the fucking attacks that they've engaged in, and it's making it seem like it's literally making it seem like, I guess whoever the fuck has like been telegraphing what Russia's going to do on the Russian intelligence side to the Americans is still baiting them into believing that certain things that are not happening are happening. You know what I mean?
No. What is he saying? The cat never left. It was one of those doors left open things. I have a problem with my front door where when you slam it shut, it bounces back because the door stopper is too large or thick. So it was left wide open for a while, and then we couldn't find the cat. And anytime you can't find the cat, it's an all hands on deck situation. Is he just watching a muted video? I can't tell if I have the stream muted or if he's not taking. Haas news breaking. Putin is very bad.
Sorry, I just got some
The Vladimir
information.
Putins of this world and the oligarchs who are now being punished in these sanctions. But the sanctions.
What are we
will not
doing? I don't
touch
think I'll be
Vladimir
live
Putin
too long.
And his progeny. They are so
honestly, I think it's. I think all the good information that will come out, and by good I mean correct information that will come out of the Russian invasion, will be done by news sources that are required to put out these stories on a less timely manner. Does that make sense? Like most people you can trust will take a while to come out with the news that actually makes sense, and then the actual news sources like MSNBC or I mean not fucking MSNBC, but anyone is just going to say a whole lot of nothing, right? Like all throughout the evening, ABC, MSNBC, Fox are all going to be live just with nothing burgers, just saying nothing, bringing on random old people being like, what do you think about this? And then all the real news that's being found by like even someone like Hassan is usually from Twitter. And the problem is like, what, 60% of it, 50% of it might be right. 50% is wrong. Maybe even more lopsided. So I don't too much feel great covering things in real time, knowing that the information, it could just be wrong.
Kind of a response or defense.
Dude, Belarus, the Belarusian government, the Belarus government is such bitches, dude. They're like, what are you gonna do, bitch? What are you gonna do, bitch ass? Like, they're like, oh yeah, we'll come with you, dude. Come on, we'll invade with you. It's like little babies, dude. Okay, sick.
Belarus is getting hard carried.
Such cucks.
Belarus riding some coattails.
Just absolutely fucking cucked.
So this is a React
is
stream.
A Russian ally, yes.
It's a bit of a React stream, but it's more so a for everyone who right now at home is like, oh fuck, World War III. What does this mean for me? Oh my God. In addition to like, oh, this is really sad. You know, I think the best thing is to actually wait for reliable news sources rather than panic consume information to be the most abreast on what is happening in the world. Because I think that path oftentimes leads to a lot of misinformation that booms you out in the long term.
Also, for Article 4 consultations with allies at NATO.
That's just from one journalist
of the Russian
to
military
you guys.
physically moving across those borders. Another thing that we've been expecting to see and we're hearing from the Ukrainian government that is happening.
Bro, I'm watching anime. Okay, doesn't mean you don't need to stop feeling bad. Don't just throw on Sword Art Online. Shmeeshmop. Sword Art Online. I wait. You can still feel bad.
in recent days were those
I'm a
ships
gaming
that the
journalist.
Russian military
No, I'm a
brought in
fuck.
to,
I'm
the
a
Black
gamer with a
Sea
journalism
and then
degree.
into the Sea of Azov. They're landing ships. Yes, they have the ability to bring mainly Russian Marines, but Russian military ashore there. But they also have missile capability, and those are among some of the Russian military's most precise capabilities for targeting from
China sent
from
this
afar.
So this is an
statement
interesting point,
supporting
because
Russia.
We've had discussions about the Ukrainian
What is
military and how
this?
fierce they are. And
I
how,
believe
how-
that was
and-
before the invasion. But I don't think they've supported an invasion.
Of its size, spawn camps in its borders. Sleepy Joe isn't a worthy contender. Germany is known for choking wars. Won't allow NATO.
Mickey Mouse invasion.
Mickey Mouse invasion.
What the fuck is a Mickey Mouse invasion?
Bro, what is happening right now? Is this like LeBron Twitter? Like, what the fuck? It should be transparent. Let's see.
Has to invade a country 1% of its size. Several countries on its side. Spawn camps its border. Won't allow NATO.
Let's go.
Sleepy
Let's
Joe
go,
isn't a
dude.
worthy contender. What the hell is a Mickey Mouse invasion?
There it is.
This invasion does not count in my book. Is this a meme? Who the fuck cares if it's in your book or not? Saying it's like a bitch-made invasion? What do they want? The beaches of Normandy?
Up in the process of
Mickey Mouse, a reference to the 2020 NBA playoffs where they played in Disney World. So they consider it like a Mickey Mouse playoffs, a.k.a. it's a playoffs that don't matter. Oh, the last thing I'd want to hear is Keemstar's take on this.
Don't. I will die. I don't want to die. I don't want to subject you to fucking brain cancer.
Thank
Did
you.
Just give me... Don't link me fucking Keemstar, dude.
Thank you.
Keemstar explains Russia invading Ukraine.
Sent some
I
bombers.
was trying to
There are
think, is
reports
there
that
a
he
worse news source than getting it from
some
me?
Attack fighters in
And then
Syria,
Keemstar showed up.
which is meant to be a very specific deterrent to the United States military. If there's any sense that the U.S. military is going to go in, he has those capabilities all over the area. Also, there are reports that he sent some of these hypersonics.
Yes, I am curious. I am a little curious about how
The
fucking...
guy who can't even get information right when it comes to YouTube beef. Trying to get information right for a fucking war.
hitting myself with a hammer over and over again until I have long-term memory loss. That is what it would be like if I were to listen to Keemstar's fucking point of view on this
In this
situation.
long written op-ed that he wrote back in July and released publicly, he has made it very clear what he wants to do here. He is also now sending signals, clear signals, but with things like these hypersonic missiles.
What
and
news
these
sites do you
bomber
use? I
deployments
only use TikTok and Twitter.
to the world and to Western allies and to NATO.
Real
and to
news.
the NATO alliance that, look, I'm going after Ukraine. Don't try to stop me. And if you do, these are the capabilities that I have. And that he is making it very clear he is willing to use.
Tumblr's tight on all this shit right now, too.
Thought that was something, we've come to expect everything these days, and that one I didn't expect. Courtney, thanks. Stay close, please, and let us know as soon as you've got any more updates. I want to go back to Kyiv. Aaron McLaughlin is standing by. Matt Bradley is in Kharkiv,
He's
Ukraine.
always peeing.
Keir Simmons is in Moscow. Let's start with Aaron. What's the situation there, Aaron?
Well, we have just heard from the emergency services here in Ukraine posting to the people.
I wonder what Russian Twitter thinks about this. I wish there was a way to just read Russian Twitter right now. But like, are they like, what are they saying?
The State Security Service Ukraine is ready to help you. It has been a while now since we have
Anyway,
heard the
brought to you
last
by
explosion.
NordVPN.
The last explosion we heard was about over an hour ago. The sirens for now also
You can set
seem
your
to have
trends
stopped.
to a
People
certain
are
country, set your
continuing
trends to
evacuate
Russia.
The city here. although while they're leaving in cars, we're hearing reports that some of the highways in the western direction of Ukraine are now jammed with traffic. But the streets
I feel like Twitter
of
is
Kyiv
the worst
themselves,
website
though,
in the world
are
for
empty
something
as
like
authorities are
an
trying to urge
invasion
people,
or
to
war.
remain calm. We have heard from President Zelensky
It's like the worst thing.
in a social media post urging
Dude.
people not.
Unfortunately, I'm just seeing what's happening in the conflict, and we'll pause on tomorrow's announcement. Dude, how did it take you so long? It took the dude 2 hours
A scenario
to
which
say.
really
He
the
tweeted out,
Ukrainian
"Let's
government
go!"
had been, downplaying
2
for some
hours
time,
later.
As early as the beginning of this week, President Zelensky saying that he did not think that Russia and Ukraine were going to go to war. But this morning,
I might be a
blasts
scheduled
that
tweet. Yeah, you might
woke
be right.
People in the capital, obviously indicating that war is now very much underway, as we're waiting to hear more from authorities in terms of their next steps. I spoke to the Ukrainian president's spokesperson a short while ago and asked him where the Ukrainian president is.
This has to be fake, right?
He declined to comment, Ali.
Aaron, have you been able to get? I know you're working hard.
The
and
second
you're paying
trending
attention to
thing for
everything
me
that's
is
going on,
Snowfall.
but we're not sure where.
The
Clearly,
show
you heard
that
explosions
has to be
in
fake.
Kyiv. We were together when you heard them. Then you heard the attack.
They paid
sirens.
for that ad
Do we
spot.
know where those explosions happened yet? And I'm asking you because when I was talking to Ambassador McFaul,
Like I'm
earlier,
saying, that's a
he seemed
paid
to
ad
think
that
he was,
people aren't
hearing from
legitimately
people in
tweeting about the
Ukraine who
show.
thought at least some of them might be near the airport. Although you indicated you were hearing them from different.
It's 100% a paid ad. I don't know how they don't have to disclose this though.
Yeah, I was hearing explosions really at all sides from where I am right now, really in the heart of the capital.
Because it doesn't show that it's paid.
To my left, to my right, and then directly behind me. Unclear where exactly, precisely those explosions were happening. Of course, we did hear from an advisor to the Minister of the Interior say that ballistic missiles were launched, striking a number of military installations as well as airfields, though we have no further clarity from authorities on specific targets at this time, Ali.
Okay, as soon as you hear about that, please let me know. Obviously, it's militarily significant and important if they're hitting the airports because Ukraine doesn't have a massive air defense capability.
What?
Stay down, Shasta, just stay down.
What? What is going on,
What
bro?
the fuck did you just click on?
Yo! It literally magically jumped the Sci-Fi Channel, dude.
Oh, free Sci-Fi Network.
What? Did Russia just fucking hack NBC News?
Will have very strong ties to Ukraine, and they'll be waking up now, really, I think, very worried about
in just
what
a
is
short
happening.
period of time.
But they will be told, as they have been so far, that this is not an offensive military operation. This is the defensive one. So there will be a sense of reluctantly accepting the need to enter Ukraine rather than supporting a president who is hell-bent on rebuilding a Russian empire.
Bro, this
They
isn't
have been
even
told
like live. This is like old shit.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I think that's why they started playing the Sci-Fi Network.
This is not live. It's like light in Ukraine.
It is daytime,
Lights are
Hassan.
out.
Yeah.
I mean, not lights are out. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. It's bright out.
It's because there's no news, right? There's no news, just conjecture on what's happening.
That was crazy.
A member of NATO. And now we're seeing the events unfold on the ground there as a result of what Vladimir Putin had called very much a security threat to this country. I want to say that on Monday evening, during his first televised address to the nation, where he declared those two states
It is a lot of
as
speculation.
independent states in
union
eastern
state.
Ukraine, Vladimir Putin said to the West
Vladimir
that
Putin's effort to
you
try
didn't
to
want us to become
reconstitute
friends.
the
Too many-
former
too many
Soviet
voices.
Union. This is one of his ambitions and could be one of the underlying notions of why he's coming into Ukraine, because we keep asking that question, why is he invading Ukraine? And we know, of course, that Vladimir Putin considers the collapse of the Soviet Union. He said this to be one of the most, the biggest
Hey, yo,
political
Ukraine's
disasters
military.
of the 20th century. Reconstituting it for him,
Hey.
or at least reconstituting some sort of sphere of influence that would include
Shot down
Belarus
a Russian
and
aircraft.
Ukraine. It's one of the
Good for
motives
them.
behind the dramatic actions he's taking this morning.
Yeah,
That sounds so petty, dude.
Holy
It
fuck!
sounds so petty. They shoot down an aircraft. You're like, good for them. Good for they deserve that. That's a W. They needed a W. It sounds so petty when you say it like that.
Russia camp, and this is what is so alarming to those NATO countries, Latvia, Lithuania, and even Estonia. Matt, we're going to come
So
back
why
to
is
you
this
very
happening
shortly.
right
If you get
now?
a chance to look around and let us know what's going on.
It was
We'll
cooking
come
for a
right back
while.
to you. I want to go to
I think the real
now.
reason it's
Joe
happening
Simmons.
is because the Russians can get away with it, right? This seems like key opportunity to be able to get away with invading Ukraine, which is really important for them economically. And the threat of them possibly joining NATO is a good enough excuse to invade, in conjunction with Putin rambling for an hour about the history of Russia.
President Putin that happened at 5:45 in the morning.
It's happening because NATO was going to place missiles in
It's
Ukraine.
almost as if the Russian
No, they
television
weren't.
stations took time to
The
kind of
exact
get
thing
started.
was like, okay, Ukraine might one day join NATO. That was the statement. It was like Ukraine might one day join NATO. It won't be today. And then people are like, okay. They took it as Ukraine will join NATO. If they do join NATO and there are missiles in Ukraine, then those missiles could arrive to Russia in 30 minutes. Or they could, if they're like interballistic, whatever, galactic missiles, in 8 minutes. But I don't think there was like a strict, like, they're coming to NATO and we're giving them missiles. But it seems like a good enough excuse to do an invasion, which is good for Russia's future.
Shares dropped heavily.
Intercontinental, intergalactic. That shit go around the moon and back. There's not going to be a draft, dude. Draft conjecture is actually only good for Twitter memes.
For President Putin, Ali, and I know I'm on your territory here.
There's
when we
no
talk about
draft.
this. What we have been talking about up until now is the potential impact of sanctions.
I don't even
And
think I
clearly
can
the
get drafted. I
markets
think I'm
will
too
be
old.
very
Plus, I have a
worried about the
chussy.
uncertainty, what will those
It's like a
sanctions look
birth
like.
defect.
But there's also a question of the uncertainty of a conflict. Once a war is started, you
They
don't
see
know
my
what happens.
chussy and
You
they're like,
definitely
no shot.
don't know how this
You're
is
not
gonna play
physically
out,
fit.
in Ukraine.
They're going to
So
look
the
at my
Russian
low,
people
low
right now,
heart rate
they're seeing the value of their currency
and be like,
fall,
he can't go to
fall,
war.
fall. And as you know,
He has
only
Tom
too
Brady
well,
syndrome.
The next impact of that is heavy inflation if that continues. So aside from the question of sanctions, what the Russian people are waking up to right now is a heavy impact on their economy.
He has
How
too
will
much
that
of an
affect their
athlete's heart
psychology?
rate.
You're going to have these twin track issues. One is, how is this conflict playing out for President Putin? And on the other hand, what is it doing to the Russian economy? Aside from the sanctions, what will it be doing to the Russian economy? What will it be doing to the value of Russian
Now, I
savings?
think this
What
is an entire bet by Putin, right? That the economic sanctions from like the major Western countries won't be as bad as the gain from controlling the Ukrainian territories that open them up to like new ports and new economic opportunity.
people into this war and that they will support him. But he does have a domestic
But if they're economically, like right now, this is the ruble value, the Russian currency, and it's fucking tanked.
a challenge for him if the
It wasn't doing that much
continue to react in the way they are
better the rest of the year, but
in 2014 and in years.
Bro, this shit is still more powerful than the lira. Are you fucking kidding me?
Is people not seeing prosperity? I'm always happy when you wander into this space. I will tell you, European markets are not open yet.
Ruble.
It is looking like we are looking at
Did I say rupee?
more than a 2% drop across the board.
What the fuck
on
is
US
this shit,
markets, which
dude?
would be about a 700-point drop on the Dow. But more importantly,
Turkey's not invading Ukraine.
the price of oil is up.
Fix the lira right now, America.
$102 an ounce now for Brent crude, almost 90.
Hassan made me sad these last few weeks with his takes on this. Didn't he just have one terrible take? But I guess he probably reiterated it a lot, which is that there won't be an invasion.
What's the long game for Vladimir Putin right now? Because you don't know economically how war works out in the short term, and it often isn't good for regular people. But
Maybe I'm a sheep, but I just saw a bunch of news alerts that it's like Biden saying that national security teams see the ground invasion coming. And I was like, it'd be crazy if he was wrong about that. But maybe that makes me a sheeple.
Russia makes, because of course it is an energy supplier, but that only goes so far.
When Michael Barbaro said it on the Daily, I was like, it has to be true.
Beating, frankly, because of the other implications that has for people's savings and for inflation here in Russia. Just in terms of, you know, what is Vladimir Putin's aim here? I think another aspect, we've talked about some of the things he said in that speech in the early hours of the morning here, how he talked about Russia's nuclear capability, how chilling that is to hear him talk
Russia
about that,
does have a lot of
which he
nukes.
launches, this war
They have
in
more
Ukraine,
nukes than the U.S.
Okay, Ukrainian military, 5 enemy planes and a helicopter shot down.
reaction to this. So that
Let's
is,
go.
frankly,
Okay.
chilling, but also in that,
I
that
love
speech,
tagging
he once
Hassan.
again talks about NATO. Now, we've said it again and again, and everybody watching will know this.
Do we
Of course,
trust
Ukraine is not
BNO
part of
News?
NATO. So at the same time as launching this conflict in Ukraine, Vladimir Putin once again, saying that this is a part of his opposition to NATO. He's not fighting NATO right now. And so,
Where do you
to
get
answer
that
your
info
question, I
from?
think
Where I get all
what
my
his
info
aims
from. Wikipedia, baby.
aren't clear. Is he
Look at
trying
that.
to bring
Russia
down
total,
the government of Ukraine?
6257. U.S. total, 5550.
Pretty clear. What is his plan after that? We simply don't know. Does he plan to
Look
try
at
to
France on the board. How the fuck did France get
we
involved?
think that seems unlikely, not least because of Russia's experience in Afghanistan, before America's experience in Afghanistan.
What a
Of course,
random-ass
Russia
country.
had a very negative experience of trying to run Afghanistan. So it seems just hard to
France is huge into
comprehend
nuclear?
that
I
President
guess.
Putin's plan might be to try and occupy Ukraine, but of course the issue would be
Crepes, croissants,
even
nukes.
if he does manage to bring down the Zelensky government, what is he going to be able to put in its place? These are the kind of unknowns that will be worrying the financial markets around the world this morning, and very much so here in Russia. And these are the kind of questions that you begin to ask as the conflict starts, because you never know how a conflict ends.
What the fuck?
One of the worst tweets of 2022 so far. If it's from a gray name, then why are you even reading it? I feel like I'm watching George Floyd die again, only the country version.
Bro, what the fuck? Yo, people need to stop, dude.
Reading a gray name is like, oh, shocker. A gray name had a bad take.
We all stand knowing this is wrong, but help us to stop it. What can we do now? Hashtag Ukraine is George Floyd.
This tweet literally exists to get the reaction that Hassan's giving it.
And then hit one off on fucking Twitter. I swear to God, greatest president of all time, okay? Just think. We're so this close to fucking ending TikTok. This close. This fucking close, dude.
Ukraine's going nuts on Twitter.
Nuclear war because we elected Biden over Trump, who maybe would have gotten us in shit with
I guess when
China.
martial law hits, you don't need to clear this with your supervisors. I guess you just get to grip it and rip it. The fuck are your soups gonna say? You're in war, dude.
Dude, I don't even know.
That's
I
all
don't even
you.
know
You're
where
allowed to
we'd
go
be
nuts.
at this point. If Donald
What are you
Trump
gonna do?
was president.
Fire me?
I mean, what am I saying?
Oh,
He is
was I
president,
supposed to
brother.
show up
He's
to
not
work
president.
today?
He's the real president, brother.
Yeah, that's a
Vladimir
real
Putin
tweet.
Fears him. That's gonna be interesting to see. Kiev looking pretty not bombed right now. Yeah. I mean, listen.
That's what happens when your president's a clown. I feel like that's a weird spin on it. It's a really self-absorbed spin that Ukraine got invaded because of America's president.
Completely psychopathic. Just insane. So far, luckily, it has. It seems to have chilled out. I mean, but it is an act of war.
It's facts, though. Is it? I mean, when Trump was president, didn't Iran continue their nuclear development programs? And then Trump was like, "I'll do everything I can to stop these," and then backed out of the deal, and so Iran just got to continue it.
Hopefully,
was he? Was that tough? Was that the difference? Was that the Trump diff?
Do chatters think that Ukraine is going to look like Iraq after 6 hours?
I feel like a president.
I mean, if you listen to American media,
isn't the game
yes, you would have
changer.
expected Ukraine to turn into Iraq in.
I always had this take that presidents are just nothing burgers.
They were going to fucking unload onto.
They're just like the Queen, dude. Little spokespeople. I feel like they can't do that much.
So
they have a nominal effect on the outcome of the world. For the most part, although they can do wildly, wildly changing things. But for the most part, they don't change that much.
Ukrainian Defense Instagram posted this. I don't want to see Ukrainian memes. It's like hurting my soul. That like some fucking,
I guess they can declare war.
Some like intern is literally like fucking sitting under a desk in Liev and it just
American
like posting
presidents.
fucking memes. He's like, I got this good one. This is going to be good. This will really shock the world. Didn't you say they wouldn't touch Kiev? Every time you say something, it won't happen. It gets worse. Yeah, it's my fault. I'm the one. Vladimir Putin is listening to everything I'm saying.
They can't even declare war without Congress? Fair enough. Yeah, I think the checks and balances work pretty well. I always feel like the biggest powers a president had was appointing people, because then they just appoint people of certain
conversation with President Turkey.
ideologies.
Telephone conversation with President Turkey,
And that's just like all them.
Tayyip Erdogan. What's Turkey gonna do, bro?
But that's not like a quick change. Usually, it's a much slower change. Yeah, I guess in vetoes.
We have air sirens going off, bombings in Lutsk. I like how your goalpost shifting, Lamau, and no one is claiming it's your fault. Wait, what? No, that chatter was joking, and I was joking back with that chatter.
Oh, it's a 13-month sub. Don't do it to him.
You're,
it's a 13-month sub, Hassan. Don't do it to him.
Type of way about it. Here, take a week off.
Oof, saved.
I know. I know that like leftism means no jokes, and the less jokes you make, the more leftist you are. But the greatest joke of all is the top of the hour ad break. That is, of course, if you are already subscribed.
War Profiteer
For
back at
$5
it
or
again,
for free
dude.
With the Twitch Prime.
Check out the War
That
Profiteer.
way it becomes a
Goddamn.
joke for you because you no longer see any ads and you enjoy an ad-free broadcasting experience. That's right.
Thing like that, he has history in mind.
Or if you're lucky, you can get gifted a sub. But these are the ways that you can avoid the top of the hour ad break. It's just a minute long.
Yeah, no worries, Dick Cheney.
But here's the ad now.
In recent weeks, sort of saying it's not as bad as Americans seem to think it is. It seems
POTUS can send troops for almost 3 months before officially getting congressional approval.
Goalpost shifting. I was wrong. Focus on the actual issue, please.
What do they do?
Yeah, well, remember exactly.
Thanks for the no ads. Yeah, I got you guys.
Weeks use words like hysteria and
luckily for you guys, I have Twitch Turbo and I don't run ads on my stream, so we got off ad free.
In the early mornings hours of today, in fact, they have invaded, or at least they certainly have begun an assault on their neighbor, inflicting military.
If you're not subbed, come to Ludwig. Joe Manchin, you're gonna fucking out me. You're gonna out me. Let me steal this content in peace.
Who, as we've just discussed, has a what he believes is a historic mission, right? It's not about
achieving. Can't be fucking rat me out like that.
Putin really heard me say only a little Ukraine news today and said bet. Yeah, I literally said we're gonna do a little bit of Ukraine news, but it's an active situation, so like we might continue covering it depending on new information unfolding, and then Russia.
Does YouTube Premium do anything for you?
Yes.
Weirdly enough, YouTube Premium only stops video ads, not live stream ads. So if I ran a live stream ad, you would still get it. Actually, you might be. No, you might not. I think you don't. But members don't stop ads, which is weird to me. It's really weird. If you're a member, it doesn't stop ads. YouTube Premium does stop ads.
Due to atomic bomb related incidents, I think you're going to be fine.
That's what I meant. YouTube Premium is goated.
Shock and awe Baghdad style would mean
Test
vaporizing
it.
civilians.
It's just an
hiding
ad. There's like
bunkers.
no
Let's hope that's
weird
not the
surprise.
case.
I'm just going to give 10,000 people ads.
Keep talking about how
It's
fragile
not
he
worth
is and
testing
his
it for
life
a
prison.
couple
Come on,
hundred
bro.
people.
Wait, what? No one is talking about this. We're the one talking about this.
Someone in chat said, is Tarkov really getting shut off?
I don't know why people are like, not a single person is talking about it. You just invented something that people are talking about.
What would be catastrophic?
That's a day off. They can take a day
Ukrainian
off.
Military ran out of weapons.
So interesting what people are
Listen, we have a lot of
concerned
new
about.
people in here, so I just gotta, mention something really quickly. When I ban someone, it's usually for your it's for your good and for your enjoyment of the stream. The reason why I say that is because
I agree with that take.
Long-term community subs, community members, you all know I have a very, very bad brain. I can't stop myself from regularly engaging with chatters.
I think banning him's fine. I think taking the 15 seconds to 30 seconds to read their message out and chastise it is taking up 150,000 people's 15 to 30 seconds. So it's not worth the 60,000 to 75,000 minutes of human time.
Learn about what's going on. You know,
But he has dumb brain. His brain is too dumb
I
to
don't want
not
that
read
selfish
it.
person to take over the stream. Okay, that's it. Because that person is being narcissistic.
Which is fair. A
They
lot
want
of
the stream to
people, that's a
center around
normal
themselves
thing.
when they do that.
It's a normal brain.
Anyway, let's
when I say
People
dumb
don't
brain, it's
deserve
a
to
normal.
suffer. But at this moment, there has to be much more pressure on all of Russian society. And I hope that's one of the things that they were discussing.
Luhansk
in these phone
separatists
calls.
announced the
My
intent to
executive
seize more
producer, Laura
territory.
Peikoff,
Yes.
who knows how to use the Twitter better than I do, just sent
Just
me,
don't read the comments instead of
Zelensky's
banning him.
tweet in English,
I
in
think
which he
banning him's
says,
hype. Fuck him.
Urge to
I mean,
stop
what do you?
Putin, war against Ukraine and the world
That's
immediately.
the
building
joy.
An anti-Putin coalition, immediate sanctions, which you just said, defense and financial support. He also says close the airspace. Now let's talk about this for a second.
My man
Close
said
the
the
airspace.
Twitter.
Can NATO do that? Can the U.S. do that? Ukraine's not a NATO country, but NATO's Ukraine is asking them to do that. What level of sanction, or is it? Does that cross the?
If anyone is to be to blame for what's
I'm
going on today,
curious.
it's Imran Khan. Okay, that's right. Fuck it. I'm saying it, dude. Look at this motherfucking poster, dude. Can you imagine? Can you imagine going to fucking Russia, going to Moscow, okay?
I saw the Weekend tweet.
And then this is the... Does anyone have it? Oh, here it is. Wait, does anyone have that fucking tweet with Imran Khan going to fucking...
I can't believe this could be World War III. Maybe I'm overly
Some of you
comfortable
must have
here, but
seen it, okay?
I'm very
You must
convinced
have
that that's
seen
not
what
a
I'm talking
concern
about.
you need
There's
to have.
100,000 people in here.
I was quite...
Ukraine has...
And I was also like, pretty stressed that invasion would happen. For what it's worth. I'm not generally someone who's like, yeah, that'll never fucking happen. But I think World War III is a little fear-mongery. This is World War III. This is an invasion. I'm not saying it's okay. But there have been invasions over the past 20 years that the U.S. have been involved in. So for this to be World War III is weird to me.
God damn it. The Imran Khan poster of him like actually going to Moscow. What? No. No. Yeah, okay, it's whatever. It's fine. What a time I have come. So much excitement. It's not looking great. Yes. Oh, this isn't even it, but this is one of them. Yes. On invitation of the Russian President Vladimir Putin, along with high-level delegation, including members of his cabinet, will embark on a 2-day official visit to Russia today. It's so funny when they have Imran, like when the Pakistani, when the Pakistani delegation, like when they go somewhere, it's like they have the funniest posters.
Okay, fair, yeah. That is funny. Good one. Lol. Russia really only got this bitch, huh?
I know you heard Ludwig. Wait, what?
Okay, wait, shit. What's going on?
I think there was another one. This is what I was looking for, dude.
That's what I'm telling you, bro.
I've never seen some shit like this, bro.
They got that. What are they?
More,
they're Christian.
More
They're churches,
need
right?
To do stuff like this. Okay.
Prime Minister Imran Khan to undertake historic visit to Russia.
I think. I think more.
Should have given him the fucking MLG sunglasses.
I love that. I think more leaders need to do that. Okay. This is like when chatters make memes of me for me to use before I blast off on Twitter. Okay. The sun and the shadow are behind him. Yeah, I mean, they weren't working too hard. Russia, wait, I don't understand. I'm getting conflicted reports on here. Russian military says it has neutralized Ukraine's air defense capability, but then Ukrainian authorities are reporting the capture of 2 towns. They're saying it shot down 5 Russian planes.
I feel like it.
You know what I mean? Like,
the rule of thumb is you never trust the first guy to drop it. You never, even if they have a verified check mark, you never trust the first guy to drop the information. You wait for like a huge media company to pick that up. Oh, it's a 13-month sub. Don't do it to him. It's a 13-month sub, Hassan. Don't do it to him.
Type of way about it. Here, take a week off.
Ooh, saved.
I know that, and I was joking back with that chat. Why is Ludwig just watching me?
You do the same shit to NBC.
Helped it all by lying.
I don't see the difference. I'm taking back the React content for the large media conglomerates like NBC and ABC who are having their dime robbed from this this warmonger who's just feeding off this. I'm trying to take it back, baby. I'm doing this for you, Disney.
Germany asks nicely for Putin to stop. Germany calls on Russia to halt military campaign immediately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure the 0-2 in the last 2 world wars, Germany is going to stop them.
Oh, he's got downvotes? Jealous.
Before I go to Ukraine to fight the war, I just have to thank
I fucking hate politics, bro. Everyone talks like such a pussy. They're all like, please halt this military action immediately. If you could please stop doing what you're doing, please. Otherwise, I'm going to make it really expensive if you want BMWs. It's like, dude, come on. You know, a little bit more. Please halt.
The world must act immediately. Future of Europe and world is at stake. To-do list. Devastating sanctions on Russia now, including SWIFT. Fully isolate Russia by all means.
Right, done.
In all formats. Weapons, equipment for Ukraine. Financial assistance. Humanitarian assistance.
I think all these will be done, and they'll do. I think this is like the bare minimum.
But
I feel like the way this is written is like it's a take, but this is just like the basic bitch grocery list of the U.S.
I mean, yeah. Good for them. Good for them.
Well, except for Swift. What is Swift? Except for Cutie's dog.
Why is Ludwig watching me? You do the same shit to NBC. I don't see the difference. Lamau. Wait, what? No, I don't have a problem with Ludwig watching me. I think it's funny. Fuck you, Ludwig.
Wow, fucking narcs.
Dude, imagine we could be hanging out.
Typical narcs, bro.
That could be cool. But
yeah,
no.
You ditched me to go to the fucking Super Bowl. And how did you get the money to go to the Super Bowl? Profiteering off of war, Dick Cheney.
There was no good side on World War I, though.
Typical Hassan, bro. Could be hanging out. Coulda, yeah, you're right. Amen.
There was one side that won their battles. Third time's the charm, Germany. But still lost the war. Not even clear what the geostrategic advantage is here. It both vindicates NATO and whips up fear of Russian expansion
Kevin,
into the
don't
Baltic
just give me
Sea.
$100 and say minus $100. That's Kevin. You gotta don't do that. Keep your $100. Don't put me in that spot. You're making me seem like a bank account.
That Russia did this. Even the
You're playing
most
stick
aggro
RPG.
fucking Marxist-Leninists are gonna. I mean, most aggro Marxist-Leninists are gonna say that's unacceptable. It's totally irredeemable, indefensible. Not only is it all of that, but also it's indefensible, irredeemable, completely aggressive and psychotic. Actually fucking falls into the memes that like Putin is a madman. Putin is a madman. Okay. It plays into it plays into Putin being a fucking madman. And not only that, but it just doesn't, like, there's no advantage to it. This level of posturing, I mean, this goes beyond posturing. This is just all-out war. Billion shells, goddamn you. Smirch MLRs, rocket booster stuck in concrete.
I think the one interesting thing is this fear mongering, or does this have basis? Are the people who are drawing the correlation from this invasion to a possible invasion in Taiwan from China, understanding that it's hard to fuck with nuclear powers, even if they do extremely fucked shit to humans and humanitarian things.
What is this, some crypto shit? Is that what you're going to say?
Is that fear mongering?
No, the Russia needed access to
Bit
the
of
Bored
truth there?
Apes. Is that what happened? Please don't hack me.
We're probably more rooted in Taiwan, no? The States? Which I imagine makes it a little different than Ukraine.
They might have gifted a lot of subs back in the day. I don't remember, but supporting a sympathetic breakaway region on the border is one thing, but invasion and forced participation of another sovereign state is nothing but violent irredentism. I want to hear what Russian propaganda is. Oh, Russian mission UN. Ukraine's provocations against Donbass not only failed to stop, but actually intensified. That's why DPR and LPR turned to us, requesting military support under bilateral agreements on cooperation that had been signed simultaneously with the recognition of Donetsk and Lugansk. Oh, okay. That's why you're bombing Western Ukraine. Got
12
it.
likes.
Makes
Lamau.
total sense to me. Yeah, nothing to see here, dude. Totally. I'm always doing things like that. Dude, I know, yeah. Just like when your neighbor's dog shits on your front yard, you go and
What is
kill
the
the entire
attached
block.
picture?
You know, normal stuff. You just light the block up.
Wait, Russia
Makes
got
sense.
fired from Hololive? Or is this a meme? Because it's close to
Why are you
Russia.
dick riding America? First of all, I'm dick riding your mom, okay? And by that I mean I'm not having sex with your mom's female penis. I'm saying like your mom is dick riding me. It's late.
Really?
I've been live for 11 hours, okay?
She got... Is it because of the fucking thing? Is it because of the dumb shit with her and... what's his name? That guy? Breach of contract, apparently. Where do you even see this? I can't even find this. I literally looked up Russia. Nothing comes up. Tries to autocorrect me to Russia. Notice regarding termination of our contract with Uruha Russia. Oh my God. Wow. As of the 24th of February, today, Thursday, they cut out Russia because she's been distributing false information to third parties and leaking information, including communication regarding business matters. Hololive JP gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't fuck with them in any way, shape, or form.
The banner isn't up. It's your fault, dude. Yeah, we upgraded the banner, motherfucker. Look above me. Look directly above this on the right corner of the fucking screen.
If I'm
What does
V
it say?
Shoujo,
Putin
I'm
is very bad.
swooping.
Ukraine. It says Haas News breaking.
I'm swooping in, bro.
Shouts out to Ostenok for the sign.
How does Hassan's
Are you
mic
blind?
not... Dude, Hassan has made his mic into a fucking abomination. He has a Shure SM7B like myself, but he has like the gain turned all the way up with a cloud lifter, and he has the gate, meaning the amount of like volume you have to speak at, like decently high, so it's dead silent. And he can talk from anywhere in his room, and it sounds the exact same because the compression. So if he's right into it, or if he's all the way over here, it all sounds the same because it's so aggressively condensed.
I want that.
It's crazy. He basically turned it into a Blue Yeti.
What I want.
He turned his insane dynamic mic into a Blue Yeti. V Shoujo has some auditions a while ago, but there was some drama that pushed it off. But the results should be coming soon. Okay, cool. V Shoujo Rushia. Let me start a VTuber org.
Anyway.
Mogul moves Rushia.
Ukrainian officials say hundreds of Ukrainian service members believed to have been killed in Russian strikes. So, I don't know about this. I don't know about like this source, but I did hear Ukrainian Interior Minister saying that hundreds of what the fuck is happening there? What was that?
I didn't look, but it looked like it was moving.
What was that?
Was this bad? Did he show something bad?
Yeah, I gotta go back and look at that. What the fuck?
Did he show something bad, chat?
Were they hacked or something? What the fuck was that?
About ground forces is not good. There are
it looked like blurred out
are a number
penises.
of armored columns coming from the Belarus the country, which is now in a situation whereby there's a very...
That wasn't Twitter. That was like the official NBC YouTube page.
It was blurred. Should be fine.
Where we were actually present yesterday, Senkivka is the...
I just assumed penis because it was blurred.
Russia and Ukraine's borders come together.
China's less likely to do anything they want to be seen as acceptable to the world. I mean, they do some shit the world already doesn't see as acceptable, like the Uyghur camps.
Yeah, it seems like they just hit strategic positions.
I think they just want to seem strong, right?
We could see
NBC has been hacked? No way. Now you're just making shit up. Now you're just making shit up, bro.
New deployments. So this is on top of the 30.
Anytime someone ends a sentence with apparently, I just assume it's cat.
Belarus on what was supposed to have been a military exercise, but obviously the intent wasn't just that. And we're now hearing that armored column is heading south in a Kiev direction. We don't know, obviously, where that force is intended to stop, if at all. We're not sure about the situation with air support, but not wishing to be alarmist, it is heading in this direction, and we have seen video of that on what looked like a CCTV image. But
it feels like at this point,
as I say, on Wednesday,
there's no real... Oh.
Making me want to punch my Russian coworker tomorrow. Well, please help me with my growing hate. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah, it's a
when
weird
America
thing to say.
goes and like blows shit up in Iraq or Afghanistan, is it your fault? Did you want that to happen? I mean, maybe, but usually it's not your fucking fault. Your government, especially in the case of Russia, like there's even less Russian people, especially Russian Americans, have less to do with what fucking Vladimir Putin decides to do.
The thing about it is
else.
99% of Americans are too dumb to know the difference between a Russian and a Ukrainian. So they wouldn't know who to be mad at and who to give support to.
Don't be fucking stupid, dude.
You geo-guesser a Ukrainian city and a Russian city?
Unless you're the Ukrainian ambassador.
They're guessing every time.
And that's who your coworker is.
You throw in Estonia and they're like...
Peel off, they could go in different directions.
Then it kind of makes sense, to be honest. In that case, it's okay.
And Estonia's in NATO,
only
right?
Less than 200 kilometers away is a lot of military hardware. Multiple missile launchers. There are also air defense capabilities there as well. A lot of the missiles may well have been fired from Belarus. We're not sure of that, but
Sepla, a well-known Final Fantasy 14 Twitch streamer, is trying to get to the border of Poland right now. Jesus Christ, dude.
Terrifying sound I hope to never hear in my life, but we are in a car leaving now.
To Zhytomyr on the MO6. Russian aerosol will be taking crossroads. Go to south to Bilaterska, to Berdichev, to Vinnytsia, to Kamenetsky. Fastest evac, go to Chernivtsi, crossing to Romania.
He fucked up half those words. Just choked the bag on those.
Violence is never okay, dude. That's what people did to Muslims after 9/11? Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's fucking completely unacceptable. And disgusting. And has nothing to do with, like, Russian Americans.
You ever notice Hassan's reading voice? Sometimes Hassan just sees something and be like, journalist, author, and EE expert covering. And it's like this never-ending, like swing of intonation. And no matter how long it is, sometimes it's like incredibly long, he'll do that same intonation for the entire paragraph. Although it's supposed to be for like a sentence's worth.
Fuck. That's crazy, man. Be safe, dude. Holy shit. Oh my God, my Ukrainian chatter is Anthony Fantano. Oh my God, it's internet's busiest music nerd from Ukraine, from Ukraine. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's the melon. What does the text say? I don't know how to read what the text is saying here. Does anyone know what this text says? I don't know if I want to know.
Okay, this is... I don't mean to make light of any scenarios happening today, but how fucking insane is it that Russia is trending today? How many people are going to click this like, oh, what's happening in Russia? Ah, shit. Let me check the trends for Russia, bro. Heard some shit went down. Wait, what the fuck do you mean, VTuber? We're going risky mode? Russia gave... okay, there you go. Russia and now Russia. What a funny thing to say. Dude. First, Russia invaded a sovereign nation, and now my favorite VTuber left her agency? Could it get any worse? Fuck!
Dear Marauders, don't shield shit. Thank you, heart.
Not left, fired. All right, then get the severance package. You know what I mean? Milk them, Russia.
Be safe, man.
I think no matter what, everyone always takes the side of the people rather
Let's
than
be honest,
the large
if you
orgs.
thought you were about to get bombed, you'd be jerking it right now. Dude, I said that. I already said that. Remember earlier before Russia invaded and we saw that dude writing a poem? And I was like, dude, what are you doing writing a poem on Twitter? Like, I'd be fucking cranking one off. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I would not do that.
It does make me real sad, though. Dude, listen,
I don't think I would
you're gonna be
crank
all right.
one off. Damn, bro. Heard it's really tough out there for you. Crank one out for the homies. Get one less crank in there, bro. He's too much of a horn dog.
Yeah, hundreds of service members have already died from the Russian strikes. The senior
I
Ukrainian...
did randomly think about it this afternoon, too. I was working out, and I was like, where would I go? Because I live in L.A., you know, if there was a nuke coming. And at first, I was like, oh, I get in my car and drive. But then I was like, oh, there would be too much traffic. I'll never be able to leave the city. And then I had a thought. I was like, maybe I buy a bunker. And then I was like, oh, this is how psychopath... Oh.
Funny. Fuck you, Ludwig.
Wow, fucking narcs.
Dude, imagine we could be hanging out.
Typical narcs, bro.
That could be cool. But
Yeah,
no.
you ditched me to go to the fucking Super Bowl. And how did you get the money to go to the Super Bowl? Profiteering off of war, Dick Cheney.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Yeah, baby. I tell it like it is.
Really,
Only
though? How
one
is it even a war?
journalist
dude,
in this
this
whole
is not like
fucking
fucking
live
America
streaming
invading
world.
Iraq, okay? It's not. But it doesn't matter. It's still a complete psychopathic
Give me those trues, babe. Give me those keg W's. I'll take them. Even though I'm a lol W, Andy.
Just because it's not like fucking...
I feed off the
because
keg
they're not,
W's.
like, they're actually doing targeted deployment, like very actual precision strikes. Does not change the reality that it's still an invasion. And they have they've deployed missiles
The idea of proxy wars are so weird. This is just a thought that entered my mind. The fact that it's like okay to cross a line and give weapons to Ukrainians doesn't cause further conflict, but if you send people, then it does.
You wanted to see what Russian news is saying?
Guys, Kick W gets you timed out in this chat. We're lol W's
don't
only.
really appreciate us anyway. Obviously, things are not going great at home here. There's a lot of divisiveness, and people don't seem to like each other very much, and you worry about the rest of the world's problems. Maybe you got a few things to straighten out at home first. Clean your own house first before you go trying to clean somebody else's, you know?
I think that a lot of the
That was the
focus
Jordan
overseas
Peterson.
is definitely getting more
You're worried
attention.
about war,
In
you
the
should be
US,
worried
we
about
do
making
need
your
more
bed.
attention on things that are happening here at our home.
We have a lot of issues, and they aren't addressed. We need to mind our own business.
The sanctions will topple Putin, never mind that they haven't before. And the US will defend Kiev's model democracy. To hell with those citizens and affordable petrol.
Confrontation, war with Russia is and will be very costly to the American people, beginning with increased inflation, making it harder for us to afford gas, food, and other necessities.
Dude, Tulsi Gabbard, there is not a fucking, like, there's not a situation in which Tulsi Gabbard doesn't find herself literally in the, like, worst position.
Apparently just as keen to sacrifice
It's
their
crazy to
people
shout
for a
out
good
Tulsi.
PR campaign.
She's like a Congress member,
Germans
right?
are split right down the middle on what to do with Nord
like
Stream
500.
2. But still, their chancellor halted the pipeline certification. Spoiler alert, no cheap natural gas for you, but at least we taught Moscow a lesson.
If you sanction a lot of one country, then it's going to affect a lot of other countries. So maybe
She's not a congresswoman anymore?
Should be able, if there are sanctions, it should
So
be
she's
more
just a
minimal,
failed presidential candidate now?
Rather than major hits.
Sanctions as a whole just generally don't work.
Dude, I would trust
economically.
anything this guy
I'm
says.
in the economist,
He looks so
economist
smart.
in the finance business, so no.
I suppose sanctions don't ever work. Nothing works really, and it will hurt. It will hurt the Ukraine. It will hurt all sorts of people with the sanctions.
The good news is the politicians have promised relief. Don't worry.
Hey, notice how no one gives a fuck about people living in Ukraine, though? That's because, once again, and I have to repeat myself, Ukraine is simply a pawn in this fucking game of two fucking world powers warring with one another. One with waning influence over the global scale, a hegemonic power that is trying to desperately fling around as best as it can. And the other, Russia, also in a nearly identical situation. Not waning power, better off than it was before, but still nowhere near what it once was.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
Ukrainians
fair.
outside of Ukraine don't care about Ukraine. I mean, yeah. No, man, it's because his Russian news is not genuine.
Why is America power waiting?
If you think America gives a fuck about Ukraine, you're out of your mind, okay?
It's kind of like...
I know that's Russia Today, and that's why they're saying that. But, I mean, that's why they're picking people that say shit like that.
It's kind of like Incredibles 2. When Mr. Incredible and Mrs. Incredible are fighting at home, which makes them both perform worse in battle.
What? Do you think his speculation is correct? Tim Dillon?
If you didn't want to hear from a journalist, then you shouldn't have came to the Truthmeister.
What does Tim Dillon think about this? Russia Today is sarcastic? No, Russia Today is Russian propaganda.
All right, what time is it? 10:40? I don't think there's going to be any new news. This feels like... I guess war is not as cartoonish as people are under the impression anymore, you know? It's not like fucking people marching. At first, usually you just send in big planes and they blow shit up, which is still devastating. But to track that all the explosions happened and the casualties from them, I think take a lot of time. And all the live news updates are mostly conjecture is what I mean. Right? So to be able to like accurately report on what has happened rather than looking at the most recent tweet that came out within the past 2 minutes so you can be as informed as possible with the threat of maybe just consuming a super wrong piece of information is generally not worth it, as opposed to waiting for more verified news sources to give you better information on what's happening. You know? And I think it's the best takeaway for everyone here. I think it's easy to get lost in the live updates, breaking news. And it is breaking news. It's the most newsworthy thing that's happened in a long time. But it doesn't mean that you need to fill your brain with possible misinformation at every corner. In every single Twitter video.
Crazy.
Unsure if
Well,
it's
you don't
real
see that
or
every day.
old or what. Well, that's a crazy video, though.
Ukraine border post in Kharkiv region.
So, World War III is not happening at the moment. Everyone can rest easy on that. And the only thing you should be worried about are the people who are, you know, in Ukraine. Who are the only people, I think, who are at any threat. There's no threat of getting drafted, but there is a threat for the Ukrainians. And just chill. You say that. Yeah, I think I say that. I think based off everything that's happened, calling World War III is crazy. I think World War III can only be called if some new shit happens. Like, if new shit happens, then I am allowed to change my mind. Based off everything that's happened right now, there's no universe where in the next week any superpower is countering Russia and being like, we're going to war too. Get them, boys. It'll be new shit. Yeah, but new shit can happen. But that shit's not going to be, that's not a right now thing. And I think worrying about it is more needless than useful. Because there is shit that's actually happening right now, and that's an invasion of Ukraine. Rather than the hypothetical World War III scenario and worrying about that. Does that make sense?